The history books, they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell, of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Street where the lion runs do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with this chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell made from the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2, like the Zulus they had knives, bows and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand a brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in France.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, you terrorist synthesizers. How are you all? I am alive, technically. So I don't know what more you fucking want from me, really, when you think about it. What? It's too early for this shit, isn't it, really? It's too early for this shit. But we're doing it. We're going to be doing, we're going to be doing the question times and that. With No Justice of the MTGs. Who was doing, Navarro. So we didn't do it yesterday. That's my excuse, anyway. It would help, I think, probably, if I set up the fucking Google Meet thing for us to be able to communicate and do a show together. That would help, wouldn't it, Kev? You dopey bastard. Where are we? Where are we? Boom. Could have done this offline. I mean, look, chat. I'll be honest with you. I was enjoying some crumpets with lots of butter, so I was not preparing the show that well. I was mainly enjoying my my midday snackaroonie, and I make no apologies for it. None whatsoever. Where are we? Right. There we go. Yes. We're also going to take a look at what you call it as well.
Stop
It's a funny interview.
Get some help. I
say funny, tragic, terrible, worrying. All of these things. Anyway, thank you to Vanizer, if you want to be all French about it, for resubscribing. 3 months with Prime. Much love to you. Don't forget, everybody, you can do all of those things. As indeed. And he tried to slip it in before we got going. Gigaday. But I'm going to do it. You know I'm going to do it. Everyone saw the name pop up, probably, maybe, I don't know. Mr. Peter Wood. Mr. Peter Wood. For resubscribing. 17 months. Much love. Very few people get a song, okay? You're welcome, Peter.
It's true. Is it true, Kevin, that there can only be one Bosch?
Well, there are as many Bosches as there are people. Okay.
Really? Oh, well, we're collective Bosching, are we?
Well, you've taken it to a different place. I don't know, that was unnecessary. It's too early for that kind of adult lewd behaviour, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad at all. I'm not too bad at all. Fresh off of a couple of days away from streaming, so always glad to be back.
Well, you say that. You were on Navarra yesterday, so...
It's true. I was on Navarra the day before as well. That's why I've not streamed since Tuesday.
So when you say you haven't streamed, you have in fact streamed on a much larger platform.
That's true. Just with, less of my own content.
True, but with potentially all 8 billion people watching. So
that is, that is everyone in the world is a fan of Navarra Media, and if they aren't, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Exactly. Like I like to think the best of people, and therefore they would be fans of that particular leftist media outlet.
Very much so, very much so. Zari says that we should start the political ideology or the political party or the political faction of Bolshevism, the Bolsheviks. We should create.
Well, I'm very much a fan of Judeo-Bolshevism.
Judeo-Bolshevism.
I am. I'll be honest with you. I am planning to take over the world surreptitiously and use it for my own machinations. Fact.
There you go.
We call it the cog. We'll leave it there. You can work that joke out for yourself if you want to.
Well, as we all know, COG is actually short for the Cognitive Society. So.
Well, that is also true. He's also in on the taking over the world. Me and him together. Two inadequate white boys from England.
Yeah. What is funny was because Curtis was guesting yesterday.
Oh, Navarra friend. Go on.
And somebody super chatted, saying, "Oh, this Curtis guy's great. Wonder if he has his own channel that he can let us know about." And the person who super chatted was called Len McBain.
Nice. The crafty little sausage.
Absolutely.
Honestly, if the Germans had gone with that kind of code, the Bletchley people would have had no fucking chance. That is honestly indecipherable. Could be anyone.
Literally anybody.
Exactly. Anyway, right, where do we even start? Shall we start with the fact that we as an island have no boats?
We don't have any boats, it's true. You got no boats, you got no sea.
Yeah. Your infrastructure's shit. Do you want some? Well, you can't afford any. Fuck off.
It's true, there is no magic money tree. But actually, to be fair, according to the media, if the media is to be believed, there is a magic money tree for military expenditure that the government's just not using.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
A misstep.
But, well, foolish. When you discover the magic money tree, you really ought to use it, I think. Yeah. So, like, I was planning to just come on and just do straightforward question time. And then my dad texted me this and went, "This wanker's in charge of our defence. We're fucked." Which, if you wanted to know how I got to be me, that text, I think, sums it up rather perfectly. This man was my role model growing up, I guess. There you go. Anyway, so John Healey, the Defence Secretary, was being interviewed by Nick Ferrari. Now, Nick Ferrari's one of these annoying bastards in that he's clearly a right-wing fucker, but a bit like Andrew Neil when he occasionally does BBC bits, he will roast anyone that comes on.
That's true. Like, he was the one roasting, was it James Cleverly the other day, saying, like, where's the humanity about them defending Nick Timothy's weirdo racist stuff?
Indeed. Or Andrew Neil famously, pre-massive eyebrows, absolutely roasted the fuck out of Ben Shapiro and forced him to, like, rage quit halfway through an interview. That's proper journalism. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. They're both right-wing shitheads, though. So
Clearly you got a left-wing bias of the BBC.
Literally. Anyway, and that was literally in the midst of the Tories doing institutional capture on it as well, which is amazing.
Also very funny as well that Ben Shapiro seemed to imply that they were making money on the BBC.
Yes, because much like future Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, he didn't understand the ownership structure of television stations in the UK, which is somewhat excusable for a foreign citizen not involved directly in culture, media and sport in Britain, but still not great considering he is in the media.
But to be fair, he is, however, not my messy queen like Nadine Dorries is.
Nadine Dorries is like the ultimate. She's the final boss of the gin aunts. God bless her.
So true.
Yeah, and not that it came across necessarily in any of her work, but also a weirdo Catholic Orthodox weird mentalist who literally proposed getting rid of all abortion in the UK.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, not even any of her Tory MPs backed her up in that.
No.
Including other Catholic weirdos like Jacob Rees-Mogg, which is interesting. Although he does make money from abortion pills, so, you know.
True. And he also named his 6th child Sixtus, which is the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard.
Well, his sister's called Annunciata. Like, that family is just mental. That's in the genes.
It is mental, isn't it?
Anyway. Honestly, if you name your kid something dumb like that, you should have them taken from you. You are not responsible enough to raise this child properly.
Agreed.
It gets renamed Dave and given to a random family, and it'll be raised normally. Anyway, the point being, John Healey is a shithouse.
It's funny. He's one of the less objectionable government ministers. He's just rubbish.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not the worst of them by any stretch of the imagination, but he's just not very good at his job. And to be fair, he's been given something of a poison chalice in that the government know that the British public kind of want the military situation to improve, but the government don't want to put a penny more into it except to give money to Raytheon, etc., to make nuclear weapons. Because as you'll find out in the course of this amazing interview, honestly, considering his name's Ferrari, this was a car crash. Boom. Thank you very much. Britain has spent a lot of money on defence, and we don't have anything to defend us. Which is a little worrying.
Yeah. Like, where's all the money gone? I wonder. Could anybody guess?
Yeah. Laughs in BAE Systems.
How many frigates do we have in the fleet?
We have 17 frigates and destroyers.
No, you can't stutter that many times, dude. You can't. Your career should be over now, I think.
ChatGPT, how many frigates and destroyers are in the UK fleet?
Well, you know what
we have. It says 17.
You know what it reminded me of, though? It reminded me of this amazing old school meme. Here we go. One second. This is what our current defence secretary is.
You could.
That sums it up, really.
Literally.
So, where are we? Boom.
It's down from 23 at the end of the last Labour government. And as I say, the number of mine hunters have been cut by more than a half.
By the way, can I just say how bad it is that even if all of those ships were operational, that means as an island nation with like 1 million miles of coast, because it's all coast, we have 17 ships. What are you hoping to defend there? One town? What the fuck? And that's assuming they're all working. Like the one we just sent to fucking Cyprus, we had to patch up desperately, and it took ages to get there.
I'm assuming they've all been sequestered into protecting Dover's beach from all of the dangerous asylum seekers.
From the small boats, yeah, which you could take out with, I don't know, a fucking heater or something? I don't know. Rubber-sniffing dogs. Clearly.
There we go. And clearly, that's where all of the defence money has gone. Clearly, we've not spent enough money on building like the navy that's necessary to defend an island nation, and we spent it all on digging rubber-sniffing dogs.
True. Honestly, when will these welfare queen dogs get off the public dime? That's what I want to know. Get a real job, you four-legged pricks.
And so that we can meet not just the threats we face now, but the threats in the future.
Mr. Healy, if we've got a fleet of 17 in total, where are they all?
Well, every nation, with every piece of its...
What the fuck kind of answer are you starting with? Like, he asked you for numbers, and you gave an answer involving like no numbers, lots of stuttering, but very few numbers. And then he asks you, where are they? And you go, well, every nation, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're not answering. Like,
Again, stalling for the answer.
yeah,
He's
like,
stalling for the answer.
literally, like, you can tell he has, like, someone next to him, like, searching through the numbers or files or whatever. You're like, why don't you know any of this? You're literally the defence secretary. How the fuck don't you know any of these things? Or at least have the fucking sense to go, well, that's an operational matter, and obviously you can understand for national security reasons why I can't reveal the exact location of every vessel. Like, straight away, and you're like, okay, fair enough, whatever, move on to the next question. But he's just stuttering along. Just stop muttering and stuttering and liven yourself up.
Military kit has some in operation, some on deployment, some in states of readiness, some being repaired and maintained.
We only have
it's
one
a
in operation.
regular rhythm that is common to military planning. But
we only have HMS Dragon in operation down there now. Where are all the others? Are all the others being repaired in some way, shape, or form?
You can't pause this long! Like, it's so obvious you don't know!
I mean, it's like, and again, what's frustrating, right, is that I understand you don't always have all the figures to hand all of the time, right? Like, no one's expecting everyone to know all of the ins and outs. Like that moment from the Australian election in 2022 when Anthony Albanese was asked, like, what like the current unemployment rate was, and he didn't know to the hand, right? But you are the defense secretary being asked basic numbers on how many ships do we have and where are they. These aren't the kind of esoteric numbers that it's understandable for you not to know. These are the kind of things that are like the bread and butter of you being able to go to your department and say, what is the fuck is going on? You should know this.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, have the adults ever been rooming more adultly than the adults in the room are currently adulting?
That's
Honestly.
nice, isn't it? I mean, this is the one time, right, during a massive silence and pause after a very important question to one of your secretaries of state, for when it's not nice that there's the quiet.
Yeah, exactly. The quiet on this account, I wish there was a slightly more noise. Sensical noise coming from this human, but no, it's absolute dead silence. Fucking hell.
I'm proud of what we're able to do. I'm proud of the fact that the forces that we've got have risen to the challenges in the Middle East.
I know, sir, but are the others? Are they all being repaired, or is there some? Are they not functioning correctly? 17 vessels. We would have known for months that we were heading this operation in April. Why did it not occur to someone? Well, we're going to need one of our warships because we're commanding the operation in April. Let's make sure it's available. Why did that not occur to anyone?
By the way, he's not referring to anything in Iran. There's like a war game thing or something that we were supposed to be the head of, and we don't have any ships with which to do that. We had to borrow one from Germany.
5 years in advance we knew about this.
Which is, I'll be honest with you, one of the more humiliating things that I think any government minister must have to have ever done ever, is to ring up the Germans and go, can we borrow a ship, please? Fucking hell. Like, who won that war exactly? I can't remember anymore. We must have lost, clearly.
We were preparing Dragon for that flagship role.
So we have one warship available because Dragon had to go obviously down to Cyprus.
I have to.
Honestly, nations are going to start viewing us like that annoying neighbour that always comes round trying to borrow a fiver. They're just going to pretend they're not home.
I would very much like to borrow your lawnmower again.
Yeah. No, I don't have a cup of sugar. Fuck off. You know, like we're going to be that annoying prick neighbour that everyone hates. Can we get evicted? Do you think that can happen? The UN will come round with an eviction notice. You've got 72 hours to leave.
Make decisions based on what we've got.
Trevor, it's a question if this is inheritance or incompetence.
Anyway, yeah, that's the kind of the long and short of it. That was atrocious.
It was excruciating, wasn't it?
I genuinely don't know how you can survive as a minister. I mean, okay, this government is dog shit, so all of them are terrible, but that's especially bad, I think. In terms of a public appearance, that's awful.
And, like, it's worth pointing out, a lot of these things are also just downwind of what the Conservatives have left the government with. You know, like,
yeah.
It does actually take probably more than 2 years to be able to get the contracts and also build and get something ready to be fleet worthy in terms of military procurement, right? You can't fix these things overnight in terms of the level to which that we're prepared for potential naval combat, right? I'm not going to expect him to have all the answers. I am expecting him to know where the ships are, and to have these things be prepared in advance, and for him to know how many ships there are indeed in total, right? Like, these are the things that you should know as a government minister, which is frustrating because I'm assuming if they've just had somebody basically competent, it would have been very easy to go, well, during the last 46 years, we spent time selling off military housing and barracks to private contractors to rent back at extortionate rates. We had subcontracted out even the basics of military recruitment to Capita, which cost us over the odds. We are spending a lot on military investment in this country, but it's actually not going into investment. It's going into private sector subcontraction, and we're getting terrible value for money. This has been the hollowing out and the neoliberalization and the privatization of even our basic levels of defence, and indeed the role of being defence minister has been subcontracted out to consultancies. These are all bad things, and the government has done good things in taking these things back in-house in some cases. But all of these things cannot be articulated if you're sat there going, we have, when you're asked basic questions on your own ministerial role.
Yeah, that is your portfolio, mate. You have to know these things.
You don't have any other job. Like, it's not like people are, expecting him to be doing constituency work for wherever he represents.
Yeah,
which
or like
is,
with the prime minister, like he has to cover everything. So there are some things he's not going to instantly know, which is why he has all those briefing papers in front of him, prime minister's questions. Right? That makes sense. Whereas this is your one job. The one thing you do is defence, apparently. But I seemingly not, because I seem to know as much about defence as you do, you prick.
Literally. Like, no one's expecting him to be in Wentworth every day, right? Or in Consborough, which
And imagine,
represents. We're expecting him to know everything about his ministerial brief, which is defence.
Yeah. Imagine if you're in the armed forces listening to that, going, this guy's dictating what's happening here. Why am I bothering? Why bother putting your life on the line for dickheads like this to make terrible decisions and then have to borrow a German ship?
If you could, let's take some kind of comparison here. Like, imagine if the DWP secretary, right? You wouldn't expect them to know things such as how many people are claiming PIP right now, but basic stuff like does PIP entitle you to? Who is PIP for?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd expect them to answer those basic questions. And surprise, surprise, they don't know that either. Because when they were asked about PIP, they were asked as if it was an unemployment benefit, when it isn't.
Yeah.
So they don't even know those ministerial briefs either. It's almost like the whole of the Labour cabinet is entirely staffed with people who haven't had any clue about anything that they've been briefed upon, and are put there because they're apparatchiks for the faction of the party that's in charge, so that they can get access to a future higher government position at a later time.
Exactly. We don't have a Labour government. We have a Labour Together government.
So true.
Yeah. And they're fucking useless. But like, is there anyone that comes out of this well? Like, Ed Miliband at least is squirreling away trying to do something, maybe. So we'll give him like half a point. But is there anyone else in this government that comes out looking good? Is there a single minister that comes away from this with credit? I don't think there is. I don't think I can point to anybody that's done well.
Matthew Pennycook is the one I'll give my plaudits to. He's somebody who actually knows his brief on housing. It's a shame that Steve Reed is the actual housing secretary.
I was about to say, yeah.
Matthew Pennycook is an undersecretary.
Yeah.
And Steve Reed is the one who's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He's Labour Together, so he's in the higher position despite his lack of aptitude.
Yeah, exactly. But he does have build baby build hats.
It's so cringe. Oh, fucking us government.
Yeah. But so there's one junior minister who doesn't have any power or say in anything and doesn't even sit at the full cabinet. Brilliant. Oh, God, what a shit show. Anyway, talking of shit shows, question time.
I was going to say, before we move to question time, did you want to have a look at that Spectator article, which had, first of all, quite a racist cover. Plenty of, it was kind of dripping with racism. But the article itself is really funny. It's written by somebody called Angus, who looks pre-Kirkified, if you can imagine such a thing.
Hang on, you're going to have to narrow. What do you mean pre-Kirkified? Because that can mean several different things now.
I mean, in the traditional sense of like what his face looks like.
His tiny face, yeah.
Let me find the photo that I posted. Hang on a minute.
Not that he has, anything wrong with his neck.
No. Neck's fine. It's just the face that's wrong.
Okay.
Let me
Fair
know.
enough. Just checking, because you can never be entirely sure anymore.
No, that is true. That is true. I should have been more clear.
Well, whilst you look for that,
I've just posted it in the DMs.
there is this. I mean, there's no point looking at this article, but it is a belter of a piece of. How do I describe this? Crybully bollocks, maybe. Maureen Lipman. Does the world have any idea how tired the people of Israel are? A dear friend told me that his grandchildren have needed to enter their safe room more than 200 times since the current battle began. Okay, I mean, who started that battle?
Also, like his grandchildren. So, did he by any chance actively be one of the people who engaged in the ethnic cleansing to begin with? Is he?
Yeah.
If he's a grandfather who's living in Israel, but what does the timeline on his move to Palestine look like? I wonder.
It's very Nakba coded.
It is quite Nakba coded, but it is funny again, as you say. Like, I mean, my response to this was maybe if you are tired of continue being in a war zone, maybe moving to that war zone from a comfortable life in like Skokie or Long Island might be a misstep.
Yeah. Also, when you say how tired the people of Israel are, did they see a free parking sign? Because apparently that leads to some people being very tired as well, Just saying. Anyway, so that's a thing that exists. Thank you, Maureen Lipman, for your fantastic contribution to British public life. Now fuck off. Unbelievable. For those who don't know, Maureen Lipman is an actress, so I mean I don't know why we should be listening to her about geopolitics, but
quite so
cool, I guess. Right. So this is a Spectator article attacking Zach Polanski, who, by the way, I'm in relation to this, just apropos of the fact that I've got friends in high places. I said, is the depiction of you in this anti-Semitic on Twitter? And Zach Polanski liked it. He liked my tweet. There you go. So Zach Polanski officially calling the Spectator anti-Semitic.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean to be fair, they have printed articles called "In Defense of the Wehrmacht." Sorry, in praise of the Wehrmacht.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, it was even worse than that.
Yeah. So this is the entirely not anti-Semitic, not massively nosed, kaffir-wearing, bad Jew, Zach Polanski at all. No, that's fine.
Yeah, a bit of it. They also did a really kind of. If you look at the full cover that they put on the front of the Spectator, it's got Mothin Ali covered in Pakistan flags and fatter than usual and soaring down a tree with a chainsaw.
Well, I've got the full thing, and bizarrely a mental-looking rabbit and badger. No, that's not necessarily relevant to anything, but it is also true. Here we go. Here is the full cover. There you go. Yeah, because apparently he's for cutting down trees. Is that also? Oh, I mean, is that the Gorton and Denton MP in the background as well?
It is indeed Hannah Spencer soaring herself off a branch in the tree. And it's worth pointing out, right, that this is quite literally a meme that's being used on Nazi Twitter. The idea of white people soaring the branch that they're sitting on as a dog whistle meme about what happens when you vote with what they see as Islamists,
Yeah.
I'm supporting either green politics or I'm supporting internationalist politics against my own interests as a white person. So I don't think that the kind of people who are as politically connected as those who'd write for The Spectator wouldn't know this.
Yeah. I think they absolutely know what they're doing, yeah.
100%. I mean, they've also seen plenty of Nazi memes going around with Mothin Ali dressed as an Islamist controlling Hannah Spencer like a puppet, which has very Judeo-Bolshevism vibes.
Yeah. Who's in turquoise? I think the two white people there are just meant to be like traditional Green voters that are being scared away by the crazy maniacs or whatever.
just hippies, right?
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact that nowadays hippies are all like have gone to the far right, like who've started doing Russell Brand shit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They've become new age woo-woo fascists.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so back to the article in question. How the Green Party abandoned its environmental roots.
Or did you see the photo of Angus Colwell that I posted in the DMs?
No, hang on. I can check that out. Hang on. Is this to show his Kirkification?
Indeed, yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's have a cheeky gander. Where are we? Oh, he is quite Kirk. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. We'll get that up on screen for everybody. Yeah, there is definitely a weird face to space ratio on his neck. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like he's got the small features with the big forehead and like the same haircut as well.
All I'll say as well, though, if we the to continue the Kirk theme, that neck has a lot of real estate. What's known in the business as sniper's paradise.
Spending most our lives.
Hey, that's a lovely meme. Thank you. Okie doke. In the summer of 1972, Leslie Whitaker walked into a pub in rural Warwickshire. Not Warwickshire, Americans, you dopey bastards. She had something for her husband, Tony. It was a copy of Playboy magazine. In that issue, this is a very weird way of starting this article, by the way. Anyway.
It's very strange.
In that issue, there was an interview with the biologist Paul R. Ehrlich, who died this month, aged 93. In it, he repeated the thesis of his 1968 book, The Population Bomb, where he wrote that in the 1970s, hundreds of millions of people will starve to death. There were simply too many of us. Worldwide famine was imminent. Leslie and Tony were terrified, along with a local businessman, Michael Benfield, and his future wife, Frida Sanders. They talked about it over pints at the Bridge Inn, becoming known as a Gang of Four. Over several months, they roped in 39 others and set up the People Party in 1973. This became the Ecology Party by 1975, and then settled as the Green Party in 1984, which I believe is the year that George Orwell died.
So assuming it's the point of the article going to be, how dare the Green Party not believe in 1970s Malthusianism?
Yeah, I think this is the right wing's attack line is, can't the Greens go back to being ineffective hippies, please?
But not just any ineffective hippies, like openly Malthusian ones who are engaging in like weirdo eco-fascism.
Yeah,
is
but
what that sounds like.
Well, exactly, but they want that.
Yeah.
No, that's something they sort of believe in, just minus the eco bit.
Because what's interesting is I think a lot of conservatives have convinced themselves of Malthusianism because they want to blame it all on the Browns.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. When pointed out that the world's population is still rising, yeah, but it's only brown people. Okay, I can't make white people fuck. Like, what do you want? Anyway, the Green Party's origin story reveals this sentiment that endures today under Zach Polanski's leadership. The worst thing is always happening. Overpopulation, global famine, animal slaughter, ecological devastation, Boris Johnson, rampant turfdom, genocide.
I mean, well, the difference, of course, between some of those things is that they ended up not being true because the overpopulation stuff was a projection made by people with incorrect science, right? Whereas the problems of ecological devastation and genocide are literally happening immediately.
If only Boris Johnson had not really been true. That would have been nice.
Well, the irony, of course, being that Boris Johnson was like not as bad as, you know, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, and David Cameron.
Well, true,
right?
but that's true. But that's like saying you're the least smelly piece of shit in the pile of shit. Like
that is true. That is true.
You know. Hey, hello, US a-hole. Talking of shit, because it's a-hole. Anyway.
Hey.
Anyway, hello there, US a-hole. Everyone go and follow US a-hole. They do cool streams at weird times because they're in America. So they do it at different times. Anyway, welcome in everybody. I'm Kevin Logan. I'm a socialist from the UK. Yeah, not one of the pretend ones that's just a turf. I'm not that.
True.
We're not that. clearly. Because joining me is No Justice MTG. She's famous. She hasn't interviewed the future Prime Minister. She was interviewed by the future Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Zach Polanski, literally leader of the Green Party. She's famous, okay? And vicariously, I'm living fame through her, so you have to follow me.
And I'm so famous, right? I'm so famous that people in your area know who I am vicariously as the posh bird.
Literally, I was... I'll have to explain that joke to the Americans now. I went to a soccer game, and a person recognised me from the internet, which was worrying because I was thinking, in all likelihood, if someone recognises you, they're going to stab you.
In Birmingham, certainly.
In Birmingham, it's a sort of greeting more than anything. Anyway, but no, they were really nice, and they said, I saw the stream you did with that posh bird, meaning my current co-host, and I had to stifle the biggest silly giggle ever because I didn't want to embarrass the guy because he was lovely. Anyway, I presume he said he watches quite a lot, so if he's seen me tell that story now several times, he will probably never approach me again. Which, in a way, is a win because I don't want people coming up to me. You know how people say, if you see me in the street, come and say hello. No, don't. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. I don't want to get stabbed. Fuck off. You're all fucking mental, all of you. Even the ones that like me are the worst. They're even more mental because they like me. Anyway. Thank you to whoever just followed then. Much love to you. Anyway, we're currently reading a terrible piece of right-wing shite. And then we're going to watch some people talk right-wing shite, because that's just what we fucking do.
Gluttons for punishment here.
Yeah. Anyway. Where were we? I forgot where we got to.
The Green Party's origin story. I might as well go back to that bit.
Sorry, Carol. The Green Party's origin story reveals the sentiment that endures today under Zach Polanski's leadership. The worst thing is always happening. Overpopulation, global famine, animal slaughter, ecological devastation, Boris Alexander Tefeffel Johnson, rampant turfdom, genocide. The Greens have been the most hospitable political home for the apocalyptic, the anxious, and the scared.
Or the realistic.
Yeah.
How do we describe that as, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the corollary to this is that the Conservative Party has always been a hospitable political home for those totally insulated from global events. Those who live in a self-satisfied, cushy bubble of their own making and of their own privilege.
Interesting little historical fact. The phrase kushti is originally a Hindi word, which meant bar. And literally, people who were sent to India would go to the kushti, and it became known as a way of getting an easy job in the army. Because you spent all the time in the kushti. Little fact for you.
As many Conservatives tend to do.
Well, let's be honest, the people who were sent to be Viceroy of India were not exactly socialists. Let's put it that way. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, exactly. The people who read the Spectator, this fucking rag, are the kind of people who obviously aren't going to be scared because nothing in the real world can hurt them. They're not bothered by any of it because the world has taught them that they're just absolutely fine. They're rich enough to buy their way out of any problem, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And come the crunch, they're in for a real fucking rude awakening, I feel. Anyway. This weekend's Green Conference is a perfect opportunity to witness the party's paranoid style. Looking through the motions, a picture emerges of a movement consumed by its neuroses. It is no longer possible for the Greens to just be green. The Green Party has been eaten up by what some people call the omni-cause.
It is funny that basically what they are describing is the idea that you can care about more things at once.
Yeah, if you're planning to be the government, surely you should have policies on all of the things.
Exactly. It is no longer possible for the Labour Party to just be Labour. They must also care about things that are not concerned with the specific dynamic of the labour market. Wow, crazy.
Yeah, we've got policies in various areas, and it's going to be debated at the National Conference of the Green Party.
Yeah,
crazy.
Turns out the Scottish National Party care about more than just Scottish nationalism. They do actually have to have a prospectus for government.
Well, they have a transport policy as well. They've abandoned their roots. ridiculous. If you're a conservative with environmental leanings, then you're not welcome. Yeah, you're fucking not. Fuck off.
Well, yeah,
Look,
because it doesn't make any
just
sense,
having,
right?
just having like, well, I like nature, but I want to also hang gay people from the trees I plant is not acceptable. No.
Literally, or just even on a basic level, that it's a hypocritical and contradictory position. I'm a conservative with environmental leanings, so whilst I absolutely support the idea of protecting nature, all the things that we're protecting it from, I also support all of those things as well.
Yeah, like, are socialists welcoming the Conservative Party? Like, are fascists welcoming the Liberal Democrat? Oh, actually, yeah, maybe a little bit. It's certainly enablers of, let's say. But yeah, political parties sort of have I mean, there's a broad coalition to a degree within every political party. But yeah, conservatism and the Green Party are not aligned. Much like Marxism-Leninism and, I don't know, the Liberal Democratic Party are not the fucking same. So,
exactly.
like, you're not going to have this... obviously, you're not going to have that in your party. That's ridiculous.
So when they say conservative environmentalists, what they mean is NIMBYs.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah.
And if you wanted a conservative party that wants to block development to protect nature or whatever, you can join the Conservative Party. That's what that party does.
Yeah. And as we've said before, environmentalism without social justice is just fucking gardening.
So true.
Anyway. I forgot where we even got to. Omnicore, environmental leanings. There we go. If you're a gender-critical eco-warrior... ... Well, there's no such thing. Well,
I mean, there probably are plenty of
Yeah.
people who share lots of green politics apart from their, beliefs in gender politics or whatever. But at the end of the day, most people who support us are inclusive and
Yeah.
believe that maybe the kind of ideological position that wants to eradicate certain groups from society shouldn't be welcome,
Yeah, but like the Green Party had a problem with TERFs in it, so clearly it is at least plausible in their own mind to be both a TERF and ecologically minded. But they, I suppose, want to hive off all gender criticals away from any kind of progressivism, I guess. Climate activism begets trans activism begets Palestinian activism.
Does it?
No, not even in the slightest. I've seen trans people be very, very anti-Palestine.
Well, I've seen plenty of pro-Palestine people be very anti-trans. Remember the Dr. Rahmet Aladwan we covered? The woman who got fired from the NHS for quote-unquote anti-Semitism. She's a massive, massive, transphobe,
Yeah. Or Jumbly Crumbles and his friends from the supposed independent group. Yeah, there's some transphobic pro-Palestine people. There are some people who are climate activists that are against trans people and Palestine. None of these things are interconnected. It's just that progressive people generally will be in favour of, generally trans rights and climate activism and the Palestinian cause.
It's not opposing genocide, right?
Yeah. It's not that one begets the other. That's ridiculous. What a fucking absurd notion. Anyway, it doesn't really... Yeah.
Well, it's like saying that, belief in capitalism, begets wearing gilets, which also begets hating gays. And I'm like, well, no.
No, it's just that it's only 90% of them that do that.
True.
Yeah. Anyway. The author, Sally Rooney, gave a speech at a progressive conference this month that's a good example of this sentiment. Quote, "The adversaries we confront in the Palestinian solidarity movement are the same forces driving catastrophic climate change and destroying the very basis of our shared survival," unquote, she said. Each issue is yet more proof of a permanent crisis.
Well, I mean, she's not wrong. The people who support Israel are militarists. We are literally seeing the American government backing Israel, showering the people of Iran with gasoline rain.
Yeah.
I don't think that's particularly good for climate change. Do you?
Yeah, true.
Again, what the writer seems to be not understanding is the interconnected nature of material interest. But of course you would. That's how liberalism's minds work. That's how liberal minds work. They don't understand the fact that things are being driven by material interests rather than kind of these ideological positions that can be compartmentalized.
At this weekend's online-only conference, party members will have an opportunity to vote on a motion declaring that, quote, Zionism is racism, unquote. To which I say, based.
Well, it's the same position as the United Nations.
Well, used to have, yes, until, was it 1970 something or other, yeah. But also, it's just true, Zionism is racism. It's Jewish supremacism.
Well, yeah, like, I keep hearing people say that, well, actually, Zionism is just Jewish right to self-determination. Like, they already have that right. They already have the right to self-determine themselves wherever they want to, as long as that doesn't involve ethnic cleansing, genocide, you know, filling wells with typhoid, engaging in biological warfare, sending people on death marches, setting up different roads for different people's ethnicities, doing settler colonialism, right?
And making terrible hummus.
And making bad hummus too. Like, those things are not the rights of Jewish people, because that's how Zionism works. Zionism is what gives these people the belief that they should be able to do these things. Because Zionism is the belief that you should be able to self-determine yourself into other people's land and also houses, which is not how that works, by the way.
Yeah. Two similarly named...
gentlemen,
hang on one second.
We got him. Victory
I
is
should,
ours.
when I'm reading a thing, I should probably turn the noise notifications off so that they don't distract me.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Well, actually, unfortunately, wasn't that on this occasion. It was Yankee Tanky saying, was it, victory is ours, we got him, or whatever. Which was a response to a debate he did with Vosh a million years ago. But it's still funny to me, so I keep it. Anyway, where were we? Here we go. Two similarly named splinter groups, Greens Against Zionist Alliance and Greens for Palestine, have been leading the effort, and Polanski, brackets, himself Jewish, hasn't really condemned it. Well, yeah, because he's, like, pro-Palestine himself, yes. Like, I don't know where he actually stands on this particular motion. I haven't heard him speak about that, but, like, he's generally pro-Palestine and has called what Israel is doing genocide and so on. So, yeah, why would he call out these people? Why are you expecting him to be? What do you think he and this party are?
Well, the position I think he took when he was interviewed by Ian Dale was, as has been pointed out in this article, which he says that if we talk about the definition of Zionism, that this Israeli government are clearly perpetrating through genocide in Gaza, then yes, absolutely, that's racist. Like, his position is basically that whilst there have been competing forms of Zionism over time, the current position of Israel is a racist one, and it is informed by anti-Zionism, therefore that's racist. I disagree. I think that whilst you can potentially say that before the 6th Zionist Congress, there were people who wanted to create a unitary state with Palestinians like Bor Borishov, or they wanted to potentially find a kind of unsettled land in Uganda and create a state there, or perhaps that there was some broader idea of just joining Palestinians in the Levant. It wasn't about setting up a state. It was about just kind of finding a historical home that you used to have access to and moving there by immigration rather than colonialism. And I'm like, sure, those kinds of Zionism maybe existed before like the 1920s. But ever since the 1920s, and broadly, especially since 1948, all of Zionism has been manifested through the setup of the State of Israel and the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, and in the belief of the unique right of Jewish people to this land against all other ethnicities. Therefore, yes, Zionism is racism by any metric that you can give in any kind of contemporary sense.
Yeah. Quote, if you're talking about the definition of Zionism that this Israeli government are clearly perpetrating through a genocide in Gaza, then yes, absolutely, that's racist. Which is the quote that Polanski gave. Backing the motion more vehemently is Mothin Ali. Again, vehemently. To make you say, because he's extreme. Because he's brown. You see? Polanski's deputy. He's a keen gardener. Has been on a right, we'll start that sentence again. He's a keen gardener, has been on a BBC show with Marcus Waring, and has a My Family Garden YouTube page with 56,700 subscribers. Which is exactly what you would expect from a terrorist! Osama bin Laden, big on gardening, if you remember, yeah? The most recent video opens with him taking a chainsaw to a tree, then removing his headgear to reveal a Palestine beanie. Assalamu alaikum, he says, which is terrorism talk. I'm adding a little bit there, but I'm essentially decoding what they mean here.
Yeah.
Quote, So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut down trees for profit, which is an interesting thing for a Green deputy leader to say. He then shows everyone how to prune fruit trees. The pruning fruit trees is fine. That's actually a healthy way of, like, managing wildlife and stuff. Yeah. Anyway. He is genuinely liked on a personal level in the party. One senior figure tells me he's a gentle soul.
Which is, basically 100% true.
It's
crazy.
He did put his body on the line to try and stop a riot, he seems pretty chill.
Well, that's the thing, is that everyone's trying to convince the public that this mild-mannered man is somehow the secret face of the Islamist takeover of the country. And you spend 5 minutes and it's obviously just like patent bullshit. Yeah, it's such bullshit. Again, obviously it's nonsense anyway. There are plenty of far more kind of vociferous and far more kind of out there and less gentle people than Mothin Ali, who also wouldn't be the face of Islamism in the UK because of all of it's just a racist dog whistle. But if there were a group of people that were, Mothin Ali certainly wouldn't be one among them, not just on ideology, but just because I fucking spend 5 minutes talking to the guy. And again, they're trying to scare people, as you say, by saying Assalamu alaikum is somehow not a Green Party thing to say. Yeah, as if Green Party voters are going to be put off by someone saying peace be upon you.
Yeah. Also, I've got to learn to say Assalamu alaikum properly because come the race war, I can win either way, I reckon.
And remember,
I'm a white guy, but there's always a white convert with a ginger beard. I reckon I can pull it off.
You must eat your SIM cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna radicalise the moderates.
So I'm the most Al Qaeda one here.
Well, on that point, someone in chat with an absolute belter. I did a joke a second ago about Bin Laden being a gardener, and someone said Bin Laden did like landscaping in the New York area. Which he did change the skyline. Yeah, definitely.
But it's worth pointing out that right wingers will do this all the time. They'll just quote Arabic as if you're supposed to be scared of it, or you'll quote Urdu and say you're supposed to be scared of it because it's a language that's foreign, therefore bad. I'm like, nope. It just means things like they also got Mothin Ali for saying Allahu Akbar, which means God is great.
Yeah.
There are Christians who say that, by the way. It's just a different language.
Yeah, and it's the same God.
Yeah.
It's the God of Abraham. It's another Abrahamic religion. Learn your own fucking religion, you pricks.
Literally. And by the way, when the coming Islamist takeover happens, the correct response to Assalamu alaikum is wa alaikum salam.
Indeed it is.
And peace be with you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because you're just saying the same thing back, which would be weird and a bit... Like, they probably won't pull you up on it, but still.
Yeah.
You know. If like me, you're going to try and cosplay as the convert guy to survive, learn it.
Well, to be fair, though, if you're going to be learning any language to prepare for a future takeover, learn Mandarin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In which case, you definitely don't want to be a Muslim, because...
We know what they do to Muslims in China.
Yeah, not good. Anyway, where are we? He's a gentle soul. But he's got an account on another platform. Ooh, this is scary. Is it on alqaeda.com? Does he post on the forums about how he wants to kill all the whites? Have a look at his @MothinSpeaks TikTok account, which he set up in September 2023, a few weeks before the October 7th attacks. What's that? Why is that relevant? Well, hang on. Literally, what is the relevance of him setting up a TikTok account just before? Look, if we'd set it up the day after and then started going on about stuff, like you'd say, okay, maybe those two things are connected. Do you think he had the foresight to know that was going to happen and set it up weeks beforehand?
He was the person who briefed Netanyahu that October the 7th was going to happen, and was then roundly ignored.
Well, because of all his Hamas connections in Leeds.
Also worth pointing out as well, people just kind of gloss over the fact of what October the 7th was a response to. And that was, the year-long campaign of the IDF in the West Bank, where they were, gassing people inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, doing raids in Jenin and in Tulkarm and in Nablus, right? There was already a very long and sustained campaign of ethnic cleansing happening in the West Bank, being done by the IDF, which is why they were so vulnerable to October the 7th, because all the fucking military were doing pogroms in the West Bank at the time. Obviously, given that context, if you care about Palestine, probably a good time to set up an account on social media to talk about all the ethnic cleansing that's happening.
Yeah. A few weeks before the October 7th attacks, that he later appeared to call a fight back, brackets, though he denies his comments were a reference to the attacks themselves. In these videos, he stated that, quote, Israel likes to control the media, unquote, that Rishi Sunak challenged the Houthis because they hurt BP, and he holds BP shares, and that Keir Starmer's Labour is an extreme Zionist proxy. All of which is true.
I mean, yeah, quite literally, the operation that was done to attack the Houthis in the Red Sea when they disrupted shipping was called Operation Prosperity Guardian. Yeah, it was literally being done because it hurt the prosperity of the oil companies.
Yeah. Because, you know that they used to say about Prussia that it wasn't a country with an army, it was an army with a country. We're basically a fucking oil company with a country.
Oh, and a financial sector and a retirement home. That's it.
Yeah. It's not great. He hasn't deleted these videos, brackets, not yet anyway. Okay. Weird bracket there. The internal debates about the Zionism motion are happening out in the open. You can watch Greens for Palestine. Hang on. Would you prefer if they were doing it surreptitiously in the background? Would it be better for you if somehow they were doing it underground, like weird terrorists or some shit? Like, yeah, it's an open political dialogue. Isn't that what democracy's supposed to be? What do you want from the Green Party here?
I mean, that is the thing, right?
Like, if you disagree with it, fine, but, like, they're doing it properly. What the fuck is... What's the complaint here?
Well, the complaint is that they're doing it at all. Is that they're having policy discussions that are outside of what they perceive as to be the correct Overton window of acceptable discourse.
Yeah. You can just watch a Greens for Palestine meeting from last month on YouTube, where one member, Haim Brisheth Zabner, apologies for the mispronunciation, I'm sure, says that supporting Israel, quote, is actually guaranteeing the growth of anti-Semitism, unquote.
Yes, that's true.
That is literally correct, because Israel is both itself quite anti-Semitic, as indeed we've seen from, I don't know, let's scroll up. Oh, this, literally your depictions of Zach Polanski, because he's the wrong kind of Jew. Yeah, supporters of Israel are the most anti-Semitic people, other than maybe Holocaust-denying neo-Nazis, in the world. So yeah, actually, literally that's the case. Also, as was shown on October the 7th, even Jewish people in Israel are not kept safe by the nation of Israel.
I mean, obviously it's more dangerous a lot of the time, hence because of all, the war.
Yeah, anyway, right. He goes on to compare the genocide, quote-unquote, their quotations there, in Gaza to the Holocaust, except, quote, the Nazi genocide of Jews was kept very secret, unquote.
Well, it was. They deliberately tried to cover all of their tracks. It was because there was an Allied invasion that all of these secrets were uncovered. Yeah. People didn't really know about this stuff until, the Red Army came across the extermination camps.
No, it wasn't the Red Army. It was Americans, just Americans. The Soviet Union never did anything. It was all America and the American GIs that did all of the liberty.
I mean, again, I will, as I always point out, right, is the beauty of the Second World War is that people from all sides came together to end fascism, or at least stymie fascism. At least
that is literally true, but like 26 million dead.
I mean, it was mostly the Red Army. It was mostly the Red Army.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, that 26 million number doesn't involve just Red Army. There's a lot of civilians, of course, but you get the idea. Soviet citizens. Kept very secret. In another pre-conference meeting this Monday, one member suggested that they make clear they're talking about ethno-nationalism rather than cultural Zionism. That was dismissed. Oh, sorry, this was dismissed.
I mean, but cultural Zionism is ethno-nationalism.
Yeah, that's a distinction without a difference, I think.
Well, I think, maybe it's similar to my point, which is if you just do a broader ethno-nationalist anti-motion, and then you include Zionism in all of the text, like include that alongside like Serb nationalism or whatever, right? Hutu nationalism, then you can make that comparison, right? Without it look like you're targeting Israel specifically. You're targeting the manifestation of the bad ideology within Israel as part of the motion, I guess. But
true, but like I'm sick of dancing on the head of a pin to placate people who want to do genocide. Because they'll cry and bitch and moan about, oh, they're passing a motion, whilst they're literally supporting the bombing of fucking hospitals and schools. Like, I'm not gonna obscure the actual truth here, that Zionism is the core of all of the problem in this region.
Yeah.
It just fucking is. You know? And I'm not suggesting you would, just like, it's annoying that we have to do this fucking tap dance every bastard time because of bad faith actors. It's not, like, I don't mind taking time out of my day to reassure good, honest faith actors, be they Jewish or not, who have problems with a certain position I hold on Israel-Palestine. That's fine. I will absolutely take the time to make the distinction between Jewish people and the Israeli state / IDF, right? Because those are two different, complete, separate entities, and I want people to be absolutely sure that I'm talking about the Israeli state and Zionism, not Jewish people worldwide, or even specifically Jewish people in Israel, of which there are some fantastic ones who will burn their order papers, etc., and go to jail righteously. So,
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that, but what I will not do is fucking waste my time and energy trying to placate Melanie fucking Phillips.
Yeah.
Because she's not a good faith actor. Neither is Maureen Lipman, nor is any of the or the fucking Benjamin Netanyahu or any of these evil bastards. I'm not going to waste my fucking time and waste my energy, because that's ultimately the point here. The Hasbro point of this is to waste your energy, to burn you out dancing around the issue, rather than ever actually addressing directly that it is Zionism that is the fucking problem.
True. That's very true.
Anyway, I forgot where I was. Alarm is rising. A spokesman for the campaign against anti-Semitism, so the obviously fucking ridiculous not fight against anti-Semitism that is a proxy for Israel, the CIA.
Yeah, it's very important that this is actually true about CIA, right? Like, this is this headed up by Gideon Falter, I believe, and he's a trustee of the Jewish National Fund, which funds like settlements in the West Bank, right?
Yeah, this is just a proxy for Israel.
Yeah, like there are actually lots. There are plenty of anti-Semitism charities that are not that. This, however, is
Definitely. A spokesperson for the a spokesman. You've got to get the pronouns. A spokesman for the campaign against anti-Semitism tells me that the Greens are, quote, not only tolerating but amplifying some of the worst rhetoric that we have seen in British politics in a generation. Really?
I mean,
so not Nigel Farage, like, literally openly being paid to promote neo-Nazi events.
Not Rupert Lowe saying that faulty cameras were Jewish.
Which is literally like a line from Four Lions.
literally.
Jewish spark plugs.
Oh, it sounds like parody anti-Semitism, not like Nick Griffin's open like anti-Semitism or anything like that. Which is again not a generation ago. That's within my generation. But I remember
or literally
Nick Griffin being anti-Semitic.
Openly British members of the House of Commons using the phrase cultural Marxism.
Literally, both Nigel Farage and Swilla Braverman have used the phrase cultural Marxism, which is fucking Nazi era shit.
Yep, cultural Bolshevismus, etc. No, but it's definitely the people who are against genocide. That's the bad rhetoric. Okay. This growing focus on Zionism has distressed some inside the party too. The Jewish Greens lobby group, which regularly criticises Israel, says the motion is, quote, likely to make Jews feel unwelcome in the party. That would be a shame if that were true. I've not seen any evidence that it is true, and I don't think most Jewish people who are of a mind to be in the Green Party would see it as an anti-Jewish motion. So I don't know that this claim is even true. But I certainly hope it isn't fucking true. But we'll wait and see, I guess. In Monday's meeting, someone asked if the proposers would meet with the Jewish Greens to discuss the motion. One replied, for what purpose? A former member tells me, the fact that so many people have flooded into the Green Party to champion such extremist nonsense shows that my former party has some really serious problems to deal with.
And again, like the idea that we'd have to meet with a specific, like, racial group to talk about an ideological position, again, is if they're trying to say, so, well, the issue here is that because it's Zionism, therefore it must be indelibly linked to Jewish people. I'm like, well, no, it isn't. It's a political ideology, again, that is mostly supported by white Christian nationalists in America.
Yeah. And essentially, you're sort of playing into their hands, because if you meet with the Jewish Greens, you are saying this is a Jewish issue. which it isn't. It just isn't. Keep an eye on the Greens' reaction to Wes Streeting's announcement this week. The Health Secretary said he would give the General Medical Council more powers to dismiss racist and anti-Semitic doctors. A motion up for a vote this weekend says, quote, NHS staff cannot speak up against genocide, unquote. In Monday's meeting, members said the plans were draconian limits on free speech, dressed up as anti-Semitism concern. Well, considering that the same people who were pushing for this pushed for Palestinian children's drawings to be taken down from a hospital?
Or like things like taking down stickers or like badges they were wearing that would, like had the Palestinian flag on it. That's literally it.
Yeah, like this is bullshit. This is cry-bully bullshit. The wider policy agenda is just as left field. This weekend's motions, many of which have gone unreported until now, show a party that can't resist the urge to self-destruct. Well, just let them then. What's your problem? If they're going to self-destruct, why do you need to even bother? Oh, you're full of shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like, why would you think you need to hasten that if you thought it was inevitable already?
There are some predictable headline grabbers, such as the motion to leave NATO. Brackets, it drives arms races and international strategic tension, sick, unquote. Typo. There's ending...
I mean, literally, that is true.
That is true. It does cause international strategic tension. That is correct. There's ending gender-based blanket bans in sport too. Yeah, cool.
And again, just like, what's frustrating is that the framing here is that because these motions are being debated at all, it shows that it's the single sole focus of the party. I'm like, people propose any old motions. There's a prioritization ballot on which one gets prioritized. In fact, given how low on the agenda Zionism is, racism is, it probably won't even get heard at the conference because there'll be time debating like more procedural motions than policy motions because those things come first and they require a lot of debate and amendment.
Yeah.
So again, this idea that's just, well, if you're talking about the thing, that must mean that you're not caring about the other things. It's going right back to the start when he talked about the omni-cause, essentially saying, well, the Greens now care about more than just the environment, which is they don't care about the environment anymore. No, you can just have more than one thought in your head at once.
Yeah. But then there's demolishing London City Airport, which is a, quote, matter of social and climate justice because its users are disproportionately wealthy. Based. Yeah. Knock it the fuck down and put a herb garden there. Yeah. Fuck you. Also, apparently that is not a sign that maybe they are still environmentalists because they want to like take an airport down.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Like, oh, they're all a bunch of non-environmentalists now. They've been taken over by like the Red Guard. Apart from this motion that I think is silly, which is specifically about minimizing airport emissions and also probably a bit of NIMBYism as well.
Yeah. The most amusing motion is one that calls for video games to be protected as cultural works and community spaces. Why is that amusing? They are literally cultural works.
No, but these are fucking rightoids. They don't
like
understand
this,
how art works.
Like, do you understand how big a deal video games are now? They're as big culturally as movies were 100 years ago. Like, they're massive. It's a multi-billion pound industry.
And again, people have this opinion of basically think that all video games are Pong and Call of Duty, and that's it.
Yeah. The motion proposes The motion proposes legislating for an end-of-life plan. Have I moved on to a different sentence? Or is that as poorly written as I think it is? Community spaces. The motion proposes... So there's a different... Hang on. So this is so poorly written that the follow-on sentence from video games is the motion proposes legalising for an end-of-life plan to be built into all gaming products. What?
Oh, it's about... Yeah, so it's about games. So when it's online gaming and stuff like that.
Oh,
just to make
okay,
sure-
right. I'm with you.
Make sure
Right.
that once they stop getting support from the devs, that there's some way in which you can make it so the products can operate independently.
Okay.
So you don't have to continually get backing from the developer to be able to play the game online and shit like that.
With you, right. The motion proposes legislating for an end-of-life plan to be built into all gaming products, which would allow gamers to run them on their own servers and not be at the mercy of developers who might take them down. Just like a child revolting against bedtime. How is it remotely that? You have bought a product and you wish to continue using the product.
But no, but the market has decided, Kevin. The market has decided that your art has an expiry date. Therefore, that is the correct thing.
Well-
And the idea of not wanting shareholders of Rockstar Games to be in control of when you can and can't game is the same as not wanting to go to bed.
Well, I personally think it's terrible that we're still able to look at the Mona Lisa. We've looked at it quite long enough. I think it should be burned. And if you disagree, you're like a child revolting against bedtime.
Literally.
The most wild... and also, you could definitely do that, because apparently the security at the Louvre isn't great. So you probably could do it. I'm just saying. The most wild is perhaps a proposed F motion on criminal justice. I don't know what's an F motion. Do we know?
I forget where's Alex Salons when you need him?
Is it that F word? Because that would be quite inappropriate, I think. On criminal justice. Brackets, these plans won't be voted on this weekend, but they'll be discussed and debated. Justice in this country apparently is dominated by a perspective grounded in Victorian values and ethics. Yeah, we've literally just locked everyone up.
Yeah, what do you think the fucking Peel reforms were?
Yeah.
Like we call them bobbies on the beat because of Robert Peel, who was a Victorian era fucking political actor.
Literally. The Ministry of Justice needs to be renamed as the Ministry of Social Justice, based. Just because it'll annoy wankers.
So true.
Yeah. Honestly, we should rename everything to the thing that would most annoy people on the internet. We just purposely piss off all of those rightoids. I want thumbs up and down YouTube to be screaming about it. Funds for policing needs to be withdrawn, based. Ditto prisons, based. Tasers have to go, based. Prevent has to go, double based. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Laws that criminalise survival need to be repealed. Yeah, so like it's illegal to be homeless or to take food out of a dumpster or, you know, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that should be repealed. 100%. Which means legalising drug and sex work. Yep.
I mean, sex work basically already is legal in lots of cases. Obviously, it needs to be more decriminalised so that people don't get caught out for it at all for engaging in it, right? But yeah, we already have said that it's obviously the position is to try and find a legal framework for drugs that makes it regulated.
Yeah. Criminal records shouldn't stay with people forever, since they can be since they can be a disproportionate barrier to accessing work. Yeah. Surely, look, if you're a person who supports the prison industrial complex, then surely you, at least in theory, believe in the idea that it is a redemptive possibility within it. So why the fuck should someone be punished forever for an individual crime for which they've served their sentence?
And again, like, it can stay on your record for some amount of time, and then it would get spent, like, but properly spent rather than like pseudo spent, where people, because again, this is important politically, you know. So we have a literal case in point, an actual case study on this. Remember Lou Haig, who got sacked from who got sacked from the cabinet for the fact that she had a previous spent conviction for insurance fraud because she reported a phone stolen, got a replacement, and then it turned out it wasn't stolen in the first place and kept both or something, right?
Yeah.
A real kind of victimless crime, let's be real. And she did her time and the conviction was spent, but that was still enough to sack her from the cabinet, even though it had happened 15 years ago or something.
Yeah.
If we'd actually gotten rid of it from the criminal record, so no one could look that shit up, she wouldn't have been held liable for something she shouldn't have been held liable for in government anyway.
Yeah. DBS checking is a bit too much. Sorry, a bit much too. A check should only reveal those convictions which are currently unspent. Yeah. True.
I mean, it depends on which one. I guess the thing should be is that how long should those convictions be spent for based upon the severity, right? Like, if it's child sex crimes, they probably shouldn't be spent on to a long term.
Yeah.
They probably shouldn't be expunged from record until like 50 years or whatever. But if it's the kind of crimes that are, again, as victimless as what Lou Hague's were, it shouldn't come up on a DBS check that you did insurance fraud 15 years ago.
Indeed. The Greens have always produced a full manifesto for election campaigns, but not since the days of having David Icke as a spokesperson have their policies been so at odds with mainstream voters. So just, throwing in the David Icke thing there. Even though he was a party member long before he started going on about fucking aliens or whatever. Yeah.
And it's also just the idea that, these positions aren't of the opinion of the mainstream voters. And I'm like, well, not now. Neoliberalism wasn't mainstream in the 1970s, but it became mainstream because people advocated for it. Again, we're not trying to make policies that people already agree with. We're trying to convince people of our policies. That's how politics works.
Yep. There's a group, Greens in Exile, for those disgruntled by this drift, many of whom have been suspended by the party for their gender-critical views. Oh, so they're just scum. Cool. Okay. The Greens have shifted away from their being the party of ecology, they say. Darren Johnson, who is a prick, clearly, Johnson, prick, anyway, who was a Green member of the London Assembly for 16 years but has now defected to Labour. Yeah, so agenda critical then, okay. Tells me the party has kept the name and the branding, but it seems to be going off as a mirror image of Nigel Farage rather than a serious ecologically based party. Mate, why did you go to the Labour Party? Just go to the Conservatives. That's clearly what you are.
And again, it's just hilarious to go, well, they've shifted into this different thing. And I'm like, well, you've been a member for 16 years. And it's at least been the last 11 or 12 years that it's been this left wing, right?
Yeah.
We've been carrying internationalism and socialism. Like, people say, oh, well, let's go back to the days of Caroline Lucas being in charge. What, the person who openly identifies herself as a socialist?
Yeah.
What? The policy motions have been voted upon by the membership that you keep being there for the votes of. If you disagreed with the party positions, maybe you should have moved before now.
Yeah. What pushed him over the edge, though, was his Green colleagues casting doubt on the Cass review, which you can never cast doubt on because it's absolute fact in every capacity.
Yeah, it's not like we agree with the international consensus of this stuff or anything. Or, I don't know, like, official bodies in places like Australia and New Zealand that have called it a bunch of fucking nonsense. Yeah. Again, this is the level to which they say, we believe in science, which is why we support this one person who's reified my pre-existing biases, rather than the broader consensus of scientists on this stuff. It's like saying, right, I've seen stuff from Bjorn Lomborg, who's one scientist who says that climate change isn't as bad as everybody says it is, rather than 99% of all climate scientists around the world. People who act like this stuff about the Cass review, again, because it was backed by fucking Kemi Badenoch, who admitted it was done specifically to push anti-trans policies and not for scientific rigor. That's literally Kemi Badenoch's position, as if that somehow means that anyone disagrees with it as anti-science, when the opposite is basically true.
Yeah. The thing that pushed him over the edge, though, was his Green colleagues casting doubt on the Cass review into gender identity services. Besides, he says, Labour is giving him what he wants with environmentalism. I have been impressed by Ed Miliband's work on the climate and Sadiq Khan's work on air pollution in London.
I'm sure he loves their planning reforms as well, surely.
Yeah. Also, you're quite easily impressed then, because they haven't done that much. Like, don't get me wrong, they've been fine, but they're not impressive.
Yeah, and it's just funny to me. This is like, well, I like that this minister and this mayor have done, but are we just going to disagree with everything else that Keir Starmer's done here? No, apparently not.
No. It isn't just the old left that feels deserted by the Greens. There are more patrician old environmentalists too. Two of the party's gains at the last election, Waveney Valley and North Herefordshire, were at the expense of the Conservatives. Yet now the environment is a secondary consideration. Is it?
Is it?
On what basis do you make that judgment? Oh, just out of your arse. Cool. Hannah Spencer, the new Green MP for Gorton and Denton, deemed it not worthy of a single mention in her maiden speech.
She mentioned air pollution in her maiden speech.
She literally did. And also, it's a maiden speech. It's not Like, she's not the fucking minister. She's an MP making a maiden speech. What does that... Hang on, and also, what does one speech from one person in a party mean about the entire movement being completely uninterested in a particular time? She also didn't mention the price of eggs. Does that mean that the Green Party don't have a fucking farming policy? What are you talking about? It's fucking nonsense. The idea that you can read into one speech anything is silly. It's really silly. And she's not even the leader, and the leader doesn't dictate policy anyway.
Yep. It's almost like these people are not in any way acting in good faith and are just trying to smear people.
Absolute nonsense. The pollster Scarlett Maguire of Merlin Strategies says that Polanski, brackets, who's a fan of Spectator podcast, although he listens on 3 times speed, okay, has explicitly doubled down on courting ultra-progressive constituencies and has made no effort to keep hold of traditional small C environmental... No, to be fair, all of those people are massive Cs. They're not small Cs. Traditional small C environmentalists in the shires and countryside.
Whoa. Environmentalist doesn't start with C.
I think you mean small C conservative, as in like small C environmentalist. I think I'll give her that. I think I know what she means there.
Okay.
But anyway. The Climate Majority Project's Rupert Reid, a former Green councillor, so by no means a conservative. Well, that's... okay. But definitely an old-school environmentalist, has written about the dangers of the Greens falling for a wacky form of identity politics. Yeah, he's definitely not conservative, though. When I ask him what he means, he tells me that the very hardline trans rights position has become less credible and less popular after the Cass review and last year's Supreme Court decision, and that the Greens should make clear there is a diversity of views on the matter. But I'm definitely not a conservative.
It's so
honest.
funny. And again, like, they're so frustrating that they always go for the Cass review and they always go for the Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruling was an interpretation of statute. You can change statute whenever you fucking want. Yep. And the people who originally wrote the statute specifically said, we didn't mean this. The Supreme Court got it wrong about what we intended with this legislation, right? So the interpretation of statute can be amended at any point by passing a new statute. Nonsense. The idea that the Supreme Court ruling means anything in terms of, you know, what's true or not is nonsense. It's not. They didn't fucking rule on epistemology. They ruled on the wording of statute. That's all that happened there. And the Cass review is the opinion of one fucking person who sucks.
Yeah. Reid thinks the Conservatives have to remain attractive to centre-right environmentalists, which isn't a thing. That's not a thing that exists. What you have is NIMBYs in the shires who don't want their like nice view ruined by like poor people moving there or something.
Literally.
Not least because of these Tory seats, but also not least because of those Tory seats, but also because of the Conservatives' own drift. The Conservatives have backed miles away from environmental and climate commitments, especially under who is this?
Kevin Badgerbobs.
Kenneth Baddybob. He says. He says. They now look as though they're trying to copy reform. This seems to me to be a historic mistake because it makes it very difficult for the Conservatives to act as a mainstream party.
But they aren't a mainstream party.
Yeah, they're not. Have you seen the polling?
I mean, it's funny to have Rupert Reid go, well, I'm not a Conservative, but well, I used to think the Tories were mainstream when they were selling off Royal Mail and bombing Libya and cutting the green crap. Right?
And I'm not a right-winger, but I think we should exclusively target right-wing environmentalists in Tory seats. I mean, okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm getting Tory vibes. Some strong Tory vibes right now. If there's anywhere, though, that Polanski's strategy may be ultimately vindicated, it's in Hackney, which has a black MP. The Greens are increasingly confident that they'll be able to take the mayoralty at the local elections in May. In fact, they're so confident they've let a 19-year-old, Dylan Law, run alongside their mayoral candidate, Zoe Garbett, as her deputy. If they win, it'll be something of a vindication of Polanski's broader strategy of left populism. It's easy to forget that Corbyn achieved a 40% of the vote in 2017, says Maguire. Yeah, exactly. It's easy to forget because the popular press decided, oh, let's just ignore 2017 and only ever focus on 2019, ever.
And yeah, like Scarlett Maguire is actually really good on this stuff. She's always been pretty on the nose on thinking. Actually, there is a big base of left wingers in this country who want to vote for left wing policies. That's been basically ignored. Yeah,
They clearly are, because like if you tally up the number of people who are interested in your party and the Green Party, and I suppose there are other part like the Workers' Party or whatever, that's a significant portion of the population. Is it ever enough to coalesce around one party that could become a government? Maybe not. We'll wait and see. But the Corbyn party in 2017 definitely came very close to that. You know, they were only a few seats away from being able to form some kind of coalition government. So we'll wait and see as to. I mean, again, yeah, if you add the SNP and Plaid Cymru votes to it as well, that's a significant chunk of the population. Yep. We're a far more left-wing population than you would imagine from Parliament, and certainly that you would ever imagine from the press, because the press is owned almost exclusively by right-wing tech bro pricks.
I think the other kind of point of inflection as well is that people assume, because it's Jeremy Corbyn and Zach Polanski, that the policy prescriptions are then also like far left Marxism, and it's just not. It's just social democracy.
It really is, yeah. But the Overton window has moved so far right that even basic shit like maybe keeping a nationalised healthcare industry is now seen as like slightly edgy left wing politics.
I mean, it's true. I mean, if they proposed the NHS today, they'd call it healthcare communism.
Well, they literally would. I mean, I made that point at the time when people going on about broadband communism. Like, do we have army communism? Do we have fucking fire brigade communism? Like, if you're just going to say that everything the government does is communism, then why do we have a government if you're anti-communist? It's ridiculous. It's absolute nonsense, of course. Even if they lose, it's possible the Greens will enjoy that just as much. The hard left has lost so often in Britain and refused to learn lessons from its defeats. Okay, time out. Has stuck to its principles rather than just doing anything it can to desperately grab at power and then do nothing with it. Yeah.
Again, it's like hard left. What? Please delineate to me where the hard leftism is. Where is the seizure of the means of production at any point of any of the policy prescriptions that's been laid out here? There's nothing. There's nothing. There's some tax policy and some renationalisation and some social progressivism, right? Boilerplate centre-left shit.
Have you noticed how Zach Polanski looks a little bit like young Stalin?
I mean, that might as well be their position.
Just saying. There must be some kind of pride in it. The unwillingness to sacrifice ideology for the electorate. Yeah, sticking to your principles. Actually having a semblance of like moral integrity to you. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry we aren't all sellout pricks like you.
And again, like, I think it's absolutely fine to compromise on some positions to try and win over people who agree with you on 90% of something, right? Whether you try and convince them that they shouldn't care about the 10% they disagree, or whether or not you change your position because there's so many 10% that you might as well do that to try and get through the majority of the bulk of the things that you want. The idea that somehow all politics should just be no ideology, do what the electorate want all of the time rather than convince them is myopic bullshit for idiots who don't know how politics works.
Yeah. The catharsis of realising you're hated. Well, clearly we're not hated because we're the second largest party in the country, you prick. Just saying. The therapeutic release of doing what you want. Anyway, how can you feel bad about losing when the worst is always happening? You're a Angus Colwell.
Fucking idiot.
Clown. And
right for the Spectator, so it comes with the
territory. Also, your cartoon has Kirk face.
It literally does. They captured the Kirk likeness.
Exactly. No, good job on the cartoon there. Well, not that cartoon. That cartoon was very racist. Okie dokie.
Also, thank you, Jack Mellor, the Jack Mellor, for the £5. Darren Johnson sounds like the epitome of the sensibles in that they sound like a cult of dullards. Very, very true. And thank you, Andrew Luke, for the 5 gifties. Appreciate the support.
Indeed so. Yes. Oh, hang on. So do we want to move on to...
Question time. In which case, I will need to tell people to go to Twitch.
Indeed. Indeed you will. So, yeah, whilst you do that, I'll... Boop. Okie doke.
Yeah, I've posted the link to my Twitch channel in the YouTube chat. Please click the link and move over and watch on the YouTubes if you're currently on YouTube. And if you have Amazon Prime, link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account and you can subscribe for free. I get paid actual factual Bezos bucks, actual money, to spend in the shop on goods and services, on food and drink and things like that. And you don't have to pay a penny and you get all the benefits of being a Twitch subscriber. So please do that. Please click on the link in the YouTube chat. There are 211 of you currently watching on YouTube. Currently only 62 on Twitch, so hopefully we can get up to 200 or so watching on the YouTubes instead. Please click the link. We'll be only streaming on Twitch in a minute's time. So please do click the link and help view the channel on the thing that I don't get copyright cucked on.
What I will say is, why has a JD Vance face edit come to life and sat in the front row? I don't need to point out which one I'm referring to, do I?
Nope.
Just saying. And if anyone says it looks like you, Kev, I'm going to come round to your house and stab you with love. Dickheads. What's this? Kevin, please help. Myself and Andy are covering the Marconi scandal tomorrow. Can you give us tips on covering it? The Marconi scandal? What the fuck is that? Are we talking about the inventor chap? Or something else?
I don't know. The Marconi wireless on the Titanic? I don't know. By the way, if anyone who hasn't jumped in a small boat to Twitch, I'm going to end the YouTube stream momentarily. The link is in the YouTube chat. Please click on it.
1912. Well, that would be to the year of the Titanic. So are we talking about the radio on the Titanic or something else? You can't just give me a year. Like that, lots of things happened in 1912.
Okay. Bye-bye, YouTube. Please come to Twitch.
Anyway. Lloyd George government. Yes, we are. Okay. Well, in terms of covering it, I don't know a lot about it. I'm just vaguely aware that it exists as a concept, but I don't know. So I really literally can't help you on that. I know some history. I don't know all history because that would be impossible. Because it's ever increasing. So as quickly as you could learn it, more of it's being created. So you could never catch up.
Right. Before we start, I'm just going to go get a drink.
Well, okay. Well, I'll wait for you to come back then, because I'll talk, and then because I need to go to the toilet.
So you might as well just get Fiona Bruce's talking out of the way, to be honest.
No, well, we'll wait. I'm
no
doing
worries.
it properly.
I'll be back momentarily.
Good. Okay, everyone. Yes, you can also give me money in the form of bits and subs and memberships and super chats and all of that shit. I'm going to turn my alert box back on so that noises will take place. If you wanted to. No problems. I thought I'd ask anyway. Well, like I say, I can only really give you advice on things that I know about, and I don't know about this. So I might tune in and learn something from you. Yeah. Achilles and the tortoise, or Kevvilles and the history. Well, yeah, basically that's the theory I was going with. Yeah. I know all history. You're just weak. Yeah, it's a skill issue. Clearly, a skill issue on my part for not knowing all things that have ever happened. That is true. Although, of course, the study of history is not about things that happened. It's more about why. It's more about why did they happen? What was the motivation of the people to do the things? What were the repercussions of the thing? Like, it really annoys me the way in which history gets taught in schools. Because it's all about, like, dates. Like, what year did this? The Great Fire of London, 1666. So what? Who gives a fuck if it happened in that particular year? Tell me about the thing. Tell me the story of why this happened. How it happened. What were the experiences of the people who lived through it? What were the repercussions from it? I don't give a fuck about the... I imagine in 1680, they couldn't tell you what year it fucking happened in. Because, like, the date of it is the least important or interesting thing about it.
We got him.
Victory is ours!
Not that you shouldn't try and learn those things, because obviously the chronology of this thing happening before this thing is important to understand why the second thing happened. But the actual dates of it are irrelevant, frankly. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Yeah, tell me about the people who died. Tell me about the people whose houses were destroyed and why and how they were rebuilt. Tell me those stories. Tell me a human story. Don't give me fucking dates. I couldn't give a fuck whether it happened 307 years ago or 312 years ago. I couldn't give a shit.
I don't want dates either, because they might be from Israel.
True. I like my history BDS pilled. Fact. Anyway, I'm going to go for a quick piss. I'll be back in a second. Jibber jabber.
It's true, I did go for a drink. The screen is frozen because I don't have my camera up. I have a picture of my face. Partially because I didn't care about making my appearance nice today. And second of all, I have misplaced my earphones. And I'm wearing a massive fuck-off gaming headset, which I don't particularly want to have on camera. So I do apologise for those who are looking for my moving face rather than my static face today. Unfortunately, you're only getting the latter. The police investigation found no evidence of criminality in Gorton and Denton by-election. That's good to see. That's good to know that, in fact, it was all a bunch of made-up bollocks. I know what democracy volunteers are feeling like nowadays, you know? That's why specifically by the Palestinian medjool dates. They're gorgeous. Oddly, my super anti-woke bro buys them all the time. Love to see it. Love to see it. We came for jiggly boobs. We stayed for the cute face. Do I have jiggly boobs? I didn't even realise I had jiggly boobs. That is news to me, Chloe. Let's go for the zero Yankee diet. I mean, I'm currently eating a bowl of overnight oats. I don't know if any of these are Yank. I mean, it's literally all from Lidl. So I'm assuming it's German. The honey, the peanut butter, the oats, the yogurt, the mixed berries, and the chia seeds were all from Lidl. So I'm assuming it's more likely German than American. So I think the likelihood of it being Israeli or Yank is probably pretty low. And by overnight oats, I mean 2 overnight oats, because I put these in my fridge on fucking Tuesday. And it's now Friday. Yeah, overnight oats should be next day porridge. It's true. Although, if it's made with yogurt rather than milk, is it still porridge? I thought porridge was specifically milk and oats. I mean, I'm assuming I got your resub because you still got your badge, Katie. I'm on the old food again. I'm such a food addict. I'm addicted to foodahol. That's Greek porridge. True. I mean, I've not seen this on the panel today. Who's on the panel?
Who's on the panel? Good question. Jake Phillips, Tom Tugendhat, Layla Moran, and Tom Skinner.
Oh, I didn't know Tom Skinner was on. Yeah, hence the stream title.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a good boy, so I've got myself a cornetto.
I have overnight oats because I am fucking modern.
True. It's so woke.
For tonight's question time, we come to Clacton-on-Sea in Essex. Our audience, as always, reflects the
So you came to a seat that voted Reform, and the 1 week you didn't have a Reform person on.
I mean, Tom Skinner is basically Reform.
Well, yeah, I guess, but not officially.
Electoral picture across the...
And to be fair, the Tory representative will probably become Reform soon. So, you know.
Nation. Welcome to Question Time on the BBC News Channel, iPlayer and Sounds. The Justice Minister, Jake Richards. He trained...
Literally, who the fuck is this creature?
Well, he's the son of Steve Richards.
Naturally.
As a barrister before entering Parliament in 2024.
Oh, wow. A barrister in Parliament? I never. Has that ever happened before?
Kevin,
What?
you will never, ever, ever guess what kind of school he went to and which university he went to.
Did he go maybe to a fee-paying independent school? And maybe one of the Oxbridge colleges?
He did indeed.
Oh, honestly, what a wild stab in the dark. Who could have thunk it?
He said his party should listen carefully to concerns about immigration and welfare to win back
Oh, right-wing cunt. Brilliant. So
Yep.
we've basically got 3 Reform people and Layla. Fantastic.
voters from Reform UK. For the Conservatives, Tom Tugendhat, who was
Look at that. Again, that forehead, sniper's delight. Massive.
Security Minister in the governments of Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. As an officer in the British Army Reserves, he served in both Iraq and Afghanistan and has twice run to be leader of the Tory party.
And failed twice.
And-
Once to a lettuce.
True. Would you like to also be informed of what he went to do, or where he went, what kind of school he went to, and which university he went to?
Did he go to an independent fee-paying private school in Oxbridge?
He did indeed go to an independent fee-paying school unlike Oxbridge. Well, to be fair, he went to Oxbridge for his masters, having done his undergraduate at the University of Bristol.
Wow, okay. I mean, again, my psychic powers are just... I'm on a different
Unmatched.
plane of existence, Kev. You know?
Layla Moran is Liberal Democrat chair of the Health and Social Care Committee.
Literally, when the Lib Dem is like a raving communist by comparison to the rest of the fucking panel. Jesus Christ, what a fucking shithouse of an island, really.
She was previously a Foreign Affairs spokesperson and is the first MP of Palestinian descent. And Tom Skinner is a businessman and TV personality, born and raised in Romford. He's appeared on The Apprentice and Strictly Come Dancing and was invited by the US Vice President to a barbecue in the Cotswolds last summer.
Oh,
What I
is
will
it-
say about
is it
Layla
cunt?
Moran,
Oh.
he is a cunt, yeah. What I will say about Layla Moran is that she didn't go to Oxbridge, but she did go to private school.
Well, that's the Lib Dem. That's the Lib Dem like bargain. They're not quite as bad, but they're like, yeah, she went to private school, but then she just went to St Andrews or whatever. Yeah, of
Also, Tom Skinner also went to private school.
course he did, because he's a working class lad, just a normal working class cheeky chappy from Essex.
Yeah, he's also, by the way, he's about as working class as fucking San Pellegrino.
Yeah, literally, like he's what we like to call a cosplayer.
Good evening. Welcome to our panel. 2 new members who've not done question time before. Welcome to all of you from Clacton. Lovely to see you all. And of course, welcome to you at home. Thank you.
And of course, giving them credit last week for having all 5 of the major parties on, this week they've got 3 and a wanker.
Yeah.
And they've
Also,
only
by
got
the way-
4 people on. Like, what the fuck? What's the point?
Also, it's really funny that in Tom Skinner's Wikipedia bio, it says his father, Lee Skinner, worked in marketing and was quote unquote mega rich, owning several Lamborghinis.
Oh, can you not just feel the proletarian chops of this man? Really?
Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to join in the conversation on social media, which is always pretty damn lively, I have to tell you, or just sit back and watch the programme, listen to what everyone's got to say. On that note, let's take our first question from Michelle Langley.
I'm living in one of the most deprived areas of the UK, with 2 young men facing insecure work, unaffordable housing and growing pressure on their mental health, and
Which is why I voted for Nigel. Actually, she might be okay, I don't know.
they've lost faith in the system. Why should they believe things will improve?
Do you believe things?
They shouldn't, because they probably won't.
True.
Like, I want to make hope normal again. Unfortunately, it's not currently normal yet. It's getting better, but...
Will improve, Michelle. You sound pretty disillusioned yourself.
For them, I think I am. For their future, yes.
Tom Tugendhat.
I'll tell you why things are going to improve, because this is the most extraordinary country in the world that has consistently reinvented itself in times of pressure, because we've got people...
You're a minge. That's all I have to say to that
What is
comment.
this answer? What is this answer?
Yeah. Because we're fucking awesome. That's nothing.
That's not a policy.
No, it's literally nothing.
who have come up with ideas, everything from inventing things like accountancy and penicillin, all the way through to artificial intelligence and carbon nanotubes. We've got an extraordinary country that has done brilliantly over hundreds of years. And it's true, we're going through a bit of a rough patch. Let's not kid
Let's be
ourselves,
fair.
we are.
I mean, like, individuals invented carbon nanotubes. The country of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland did not do that.
Yeah.
But this is a country that has always stood up and been able to turn itself around. And so I have no doubt at all that it will. But in order to do that, we've got to start doing something we've forgotten how to do. And that's trusting people. Trusting people with their own money, so lowering taxes, trusting people...
Hey! Straightforward conservatoid nonsense, yeah.
Literally.
Also, the big show is in attendance. Love to see it.
with their own choices, so lowering regulation. And frankly, trusting people with their families, so allowing them to buy their houses and to have that opportunity to begin their lives. And that's what we need to get back to, because otherwise we end up seeing businesses constrained, they don't hire, we see young people not being able to get that start, and we see the sort of regulations that have constrained us over the last, well, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, because if there's one thing we haven't done over the last 30 years, it's deregulate.
So, his answer to the problems caused by rampant neoliberalism is more neoliberalism.
Literally, we haven't done it hard enough. It can't fail. It can only be failed. And also the idea that like we need to get back to this. I'm like, who took it away?
Yeah.
Who took it away? Like, I mean, the idea that someone can't buy their house anymore, they can't get on as a kid. I'm like, yeah, that's your fault. That is.
Yeah.
I'd like to see change, because this is an extraordinary country, and I am absolutely convinced our best days are still ahead.
Well, that's not true, obviously. No one believes that. And it's like, when I say de-yankification, I don't just mean like getting rid of American words. I mean this dumb mindset of like, we're an amazing country with the best in the best days are ahead of us. Fuck off. No one believes this. This is some Yankoid shit. Stop with the exceptionalism. We're not exceptional. And that's fine. We need to live with inside our means of not being exceptional.
It's yeah, literally. Like, I would no one. And it's like every conservative thinks that the whole of the population have this burning desire to be the best of the best of the best of the best. I'm like, no, we just want to be able to do what we love and spend time with our family and maybe to go on holiday once in a while.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, Jake, we get a version of this kind of question pretty often recently on Question Time, which is a kind of things aren't working. I can't see a hope for the future. I think I'm paraphrasing what you're saying, Michelle, but I think that's a fair summation. How are things going to get better? People have lost faith. And then we get the government coming on and doing a whole list of things that the government's doing, but it doesn't seem to be cutting through.
No, look, I understand and I hear the same sentiment that you've shared with us tonight every day. Too many families across the country are not looking forward to the future, are worried about their finances. They are unable to save for the small things in life which make it worth living. The summer holiday, the Sunday meal with their family. The government understands that, and that's why the cost of living is the #1 priority for this government. And just next week, some of the measures that we have introduced since we've come into power will take effect. Energy bills will go down by over £100 for families across England and Wales. The national minimum wage for the lowest paid workers will go up, making...
I'm just pausing on this image for no reason whatsoever.
Also, yes, that's fine, Katie.
Just saying, you know. Also, Labour robot beep boop? Just giving the answer that you knew he was going to get. Is that a priest? The guy behind him? Is that a dog collar? Or just?
It is, it looks like it, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
A real difference for those who work hard every day to provide for their families. And for pensioners watching and in the audience, the state pension will go up because we've made difficult decisions to protect the triple lock, and it will go up.
Yeah, the poor can go fuck themselves. The old are fine.
Literally. We hammered the disabled so that we could take the difficult decision to ensure that pensioners get even more of the spending of the exchequer.
Yeah. So your answer to why do my kids have no future is old people are fine.
Well, they've got it. They've got the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're going to take their future to the fucking grave with them.
Literally so true.
By over £2,000 by the end of this parliament. But look, I'm not saying that's enough.
And
That's
also-
not a list of things that we should be satisfied about. I'm not asking for praise. I'm impatient for us to do much, much more to tackle the root causes of the cost of living. Now, that's not going to happen overnight.
But
It's
isn't
going
one
to take
of the
some
root
time.
causes, Jake, the
but we are
lack of
getting
growth? And that was one of the things that Labour went on and on and on about in the run-up to the election.
Which is odd, because I thought they would have pressed the grow button by now. But they've not pressed the button. I don't know why.
It's a real misstep.
Election. The answer to everything is growth, and that's how we're going to find the money. And as you know, growth has been at best sluggish. It failed to grow at all in January. That's failing on a central mission.
Well, growth in our economy has been sluggish for a long time. This is a systemic problem
Sure,
with
but
our
you
economy.
said you'd come and sort it out.
And there is important progress being made in the macroeconomic picture. What does that mean? Interest rates are coming down. That means families with mortgages are seeing their interest rates come down. Inflation has been falling. We face a very difficult economic picture. The key to that and facing up to that is having stability in the economy. And that's why we've had to make some difficult and no doubt unpopular decisions to try and get some stability in our public finances, to invest in public infrastructure and to get our economy going again. Now, I'm not saying job done, far from it. We've got a lot more work to do. But because of the decisions we've made in our first period in government, I hope and expect to see growth and improvement to come.
Man there in the glasses.
I'm a local businessman and I find out that all the Labour wants to do is just tax us on the NI, tax us all the time. Tom will relate to this. On our gas and electricity, there's no...
Yeah, Tom will relate to this because he was part of a government that had the highest tax yield in recent British history, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
regulatory body like Ofgem for our gas and electricity, so the gas companies can charge us exactly what they want. The landlord, if you come out the Landlord and Tenants Act, it goes exactly the same way. So you seem to be targeting the businesses to make your profitability
not the landlords.
for the government.
No,
Not the landlords.
Won't someone think of the leeches?
Oh no! It's so
Rather
much harder
than
to be a
look at-
parasite now.
Business as well, who are going to put this lady's children in employment. I can't employ anymore because you've taxed me to the hilt.
Okay, let me take...
Oh no, you're clearly not a very good businessman then.
I mean, like, I understand why people are frustrated. It is harder to employ now, although there'll be more employment in the public sector, so it should level off somewhat, right? But unfortunately, you know, they did make this promise to not tax working people, and so they don't have a choice of where else to raise taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's Helen. Fuck's sake, Helena. Helen?
Mm-hmm.
No, the Mad Cat in chat was asking a thing. That's
Yeah.
Another point for you, or you get a chance to answer that. Yes, man there in the grey top, yeah.
You said £100 saving on energy. Do you really think that'll make a difference to the lives of people? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, briefly, because I don't want to bring up...
Well, look, I understand that it's not going to turn around people's cost of living challenges overnight. I'm not for a minute suggesting that, but it will make a difference to a lot of working people up and down the country. That money is money in their pocket, which will mean that they are able to put that towards their family, put that towards saving for perhaps that summer break. But look, I'm not saying job done. I accept that this is a much bigger challenge than just that.
And also,
I'm not for a minute...
you've got the war in Iran, which is possibly going to blow all of this out of the water,
Yeah,
in terms of your plans and energy bills and all the rest.
And as I said, you know, we
It's
face a
definitely
really
his fault, by the
difficult
way.
economic picture.
Yes. Solely his fault.
What is happening in Iran at the moment means there is big economic challenges ahead. We've got stability in the economy, and we are ready to face those challenges, and the cost of living and money in people's pockets is the number one concern for the Prime Minister in this government as we face those challenges.
Tom?
Yeah, look, we all know that the cost of living is a joke at the minute. Like, people are struggling.
You don't.
Like, people should be able to, end of the week, enjoy a pint of beer, take their kids to the football, but they can't. Their pennies ain't going as far. And look, every Sunday morning, 8 o'clock, me and my friend Rob do a men's mental health walk. We've done it every single Sunday. Anyone can come. Anyone's welcome.
It's brilliant.
And one of the biggest things I talk about with blokes my age is I ain't got no money, Tom. And that's literally, and I'm working every hour that God gives me. Like this morning, I started work at 3 o'clock. And when I was in New Spiteful, I noticed that people are buying their stock because people ain't buying the fruit and veg. Like I went and bought fish in Billingsgate afterwards. How's it been? It's going smaller and smaller. Why is that? Well, because Labour have been smacking small businesses left, right and centre, and it ain't fair. Like, people forget small businesses are backbone of the UK economy, you know what I mean?
I fucking hate Essex so much.
Oh, so this is frustrating. Like, well, small business are the backbone of the economy. No, people who do workers are the backbone of the economy.
Yeah.
Without small businesses, we ain't got a country. Their tax pays for the roads. Like,
yes, we have got a country. What the fuck are you talking about? We had a country before capitalism ever existed. Did he think we just popped a like Adam Smith happened and then we've got a country? What?
Like the Piles was talking about earlier, like the NHS, like everything goes on through small businesses, and I think we need to give them more support.
Yeah, we should put Spitalfields is a market in London, so it does like fish and fruit and veg and stuff, and it's And
it's where they film scenes in The Apprentice.
Well, they do that as well, yeah. But there was old Spitalfields, which was knocked down in the 60s or something, and they replaced it with the new Spitalfield market, and yeah. It's basically a big massive indoor market, yeah. Which like starts at 2 a.m. and like closes by midday.
Yeah, if you like fresh produce and or street food,
yeah,
the place to go.
Yeah.
And then you'll see more jobs opening up. You'll see more people, because when companies are making more money.
Because like when people say dumb shit like streaming is a hard job or whatever. No, waking up at 4 a.m. in the freezing cold to fucking lift massive boxes of frozen fish at Spitalfield. That's a job. That's fucking hard work.
Yeah, you got to run down to the cash and carry in the dead of night to be able to pick up your wholesale produce to sell that day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're literally living like day to day as well. You had a bad day and it can fuck you up for the next several weeks or whatever. Yeah. Whereas like streaming is nothing. It's
incredibly easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can employ and they can fund people better.
And do you think any of the parties have the answer to that?
Mate, listen, I don't...
Did he just refer to her as mate? Okay. I mean, you're doing your cosplay very well here, friend.
I think they do at the moment. Like people, I mean, Nigel Farage's come out and said he'll back small businesses, and he did say that, and I appreciate he said that, yeah. But I think something he's...
But he's not a shill for any particular political party, you understand?
And then, like, the tax cut that was proposed in the last Reform Manifesto was significantly bigger for big business and small businesses. So, the tax cut that they were proposing was reducing all corporation tax down to 16%.
Yeah.
It is currently 25% for big business and 20% for small business.
Yep.
And there would be no competitive advantage between the two for small business anymore. And he's be giving more money to big business to be able to outcompete small businesses. Yeah. So he's doing the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, he is from a private school, and yes, obviously his accent is put on. Yeah. Like, he doesn't talk like this normally, I'm sure. Well, maybe he's convinced himself that he is working class, and he does speak like this, I don't know. But either way, he's not actually like an East End Cockney white boy. He's not.
It should be done now, not in the future. Like, you lot are in charge. Do something about it. Stop talking about it. Do it.
Well, look, Layla, hang on, let me get to them. So, Michelle.
And every time I hear Layla said, I just hear cream in my head.
So true.
It's a fucking banger.
Well, I hear your story echoed in my own area, and I think it's so common. I just want to pick up the point about mental health. So I am the chair of the Health and Social Care Select Committee. We've recently looked at mental health.
No, it's the phrase usually used is mockney, as in a mock cockney, yeah. And that's basically what he is.
In this country, and how poorly people are served by it. In the NHS, it is the Cinderella service. So often, if you've, say, got an issue with your leg, you will be referred to a hospital. The wait will be long, and the government has said they want to do something about that. If you've got something like bipolar or schizophrenia, if you're referred, the NHS at the moment doesn't even claim to care how long you're going to wait, and people wait years, and in the interim they get harmed by it. And so what the committee has been saying is that the government, this government, all governments, if they spent more care with our nation's mental health, then that would improve everything. It would help people get back to work. It would make people more productive when they went to work. It would mean that there would be better connection in our communities. And I wish the government would learn from this, because one of the big crises that we see in our NHS is a lack of money going to this. And by the way, that is causing other physical health problems. It's a vicious cycle and we need to get out of it.
Woman here in the front.
Just wanted to make a point about, you say that you're trying to help people, but you've now put a VAT and insurance on Motability scheme, that starts on July 1st, and that's going to impact.
Because fuck the disabled.
Everyone.
They're all scroungers, useless eaters. Sorry, I just turned into a Labour politician there for 5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the
On
reality again
Motability.
is that they literally changed Motability rules because people were mad on Twitter.
Yeah.
I wish this wasn't true, but it basically is. There's this guy called on Twitter called Max Tempers. I don't know if you see it, or fascist prick. Basically, just has a thing called posting to policy, where he has so much control over right-wing discourse that he essentially just kept posting on Twitter to the point where loads and loads of Tory MPs saw it, and they all just like massively fucking lobbied to get these changes to Motability because of jealousy, because of grievance politics, because of the politics of envy that disabled people got help from the state and they didn't because they're not fucking disabled.
Yeah. There's a reason that I've titled my stream today, I'm trapped on an island filled with filled with spiteful pricks, or twats, or whatever, because that's exactly what it is. We're
spite.
Yeah, nasty, spiteful, hateful pricks everywhere. Especially in, like, Essex and Kent and places, The places where the Reform Party tend to do rather well.
Include myself, and it's going to impact us by over £1,000, and you can't afford bigger cars as it is to fit wheelchairs or scooters in. So we just need more help with that, really.
All right, let me go around the a woman in the grey top and a white sweater, yeah.
So going back to Michelle's point about young people being disillusioned by the system, I'm a student who's currently, well, not currently, sorry, but about to leave university after my final degree, and alongside
so woke.
the scary and quite frankly depressing prospect of trying to enter a workforce where people are not trying to hire because it is so expensive, along with the NI and taxing, but also the prospect of trying to pay off my student loan, where the interest is going up exponentially, and I also have to pay 3% to the government on top of that. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that I'm trying to contribute to society.
Why are you nodding? The Liberal Democrats fucking did that.
Literally, the student loan shit. I cannot believe, on temerity, multiple Lib Dem MPs, it's not just Labour around, multiple Lib Dem MPs have started talking about like all the shit, the student fee stuff, and I'm like, that was you.
Yeah.
You are to blame for it. You said you'd vote against it.
You said You said you'd get rid of student fees, and then you voted to triple them. You sick bastards.
I'm trying to contribute
5p bag tax
to the economy, but I'm hit with obstacles at every point, and I try to help.
Let me ask you as well. Do you think any of the parties have an answer to that you're satisfied by?
I'd love to hear suggestions because I haven't heard any good ones at the moment.
Far. All right, let's take a few more points. Yes, woman here in the front of the glasses.
So on the point about the mental health being broken, my son has supposedly been seen under Children's Mental Health Services since 2022, and it really is just a joke. He's got really severe needs, and despite it being written in an EHCP for him, that is something that is just ignored again and again, and through tribunal and the ombudsman, it just is consistent, and it just seems to be something that actually for us as a family has infected our ability to earn money. It means I can no longer work because I have to be at home for him because he can't be in school. And so for us as a family, that is absolutely huge, and I think it's something for a lot of families that we are the forgotten ones, because there's lots of talk about supporting families when children are in school, but if your child can't get into a school, you're stuck.
Okay, man in the blue top.
Has your son considered trying not being a useless eater? I don't know.
Has he tried pulling himself up by his bootstraps?
Literally.
Yeah, Jake says that energy bills are coming down by £100 in April. You've been in power for 2 years.
Office.
If you look at what the cost of energy was in 2024, it's gone up to 2026. It's not gone down.
I'm going to let you answer this point. Michelle, you raised this. What do you think of what you're hearing so far? You've got your hand up.
To be honest with you, I think either end, I really kind of appreciated your answers, because what they need to hear, when we're sitting at a dinner table and we're discussing it, what they need to hear is, on a basic level, what's going to happen for them. Giving them an answer like, well, energy bills are coming down, that means nothing to them. Or, you know, they're going to be financially better off, because they need to start with their emotional and mental well-being. Exactly. So I like the idea of what you said about, like, the mental health walks, that sort of thing. Why can't things like that be started in the community? Why can't they be offered
austerity?
Yeah. I mean, if you mean, like, because I presume he doesn't charge, so, like, it's just some people joining and doing a walk. You could do that. You could literally just start that. It's perfectly legal to gather as a group and walk to a place.
Also, just like, you saying that the money's coming off energy bills, that's not what we need. I'm like, yeah, it is.
It is, at least in part, what you need. Now, to be fair, talking about those sorts of issues is not necessarily going to improve anyone's mental health. It isn't necessarily going to find your kids a job or whatever. But to say that it's not important or whatever is a bit ridiculous. Yeah. It's myopic.
Yeah. One of the young men that lives with me is extremely talented with woodwork and carving. If there was a project in the community that he could become part of, that would be such a boost for his sort of self-esteem.
Okay, and look at the parties that Essex votes for consistently and ask yourself why there is no funding for anything.
True.
You have not this person particularly, but Essex and the home counties have consistently voted for Tory and Reform and UKIP and Brexit. You got what you wanted.
Mm-hmm. So it's at that level, they wouldn't appreciate the answers that talk about.
So listen, Jake, just before I move on, let me just ask two things. First, clearly there's a lot to talk about lack of access to mental health services, and to the woman here in the front, because you're facing having a reduction in the money you get from the government, because obviously the government wants to reduce the money spent on the Motability scheme.
So on the Motability scheme, the government are making changes to it. I'm very happy to speak to you afterwards about the details and your detailed case. We are making changes to try and ensure that the scheme is fair, but where it is necessary, we absolutely need to ensure that people have access to vehicles to be able to enjoy their independence, and I'm very happy to look into your case and more widely. I think a more general theme from a lot of the questions was about young people, and young people struggling to find work, and indeed young people and their mental...
Also, when you tried to introduce plans where people wouldn't be considered disabled enough if they couldn't clean below their waist, did you consider that to be fair?
That's what's so dumb about it. Like, they use fair as almost like a catch-all term. I actually hate it. Lefties do this all the time too. I do hate it when people use the term fair politically, because it's fucking meaningless.
Yeah.
Meaningless phrase, means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. And means different things to different people, and people inject what they think fairness is on everything.
On a sort of philosophical but also very real basis, life isn't fucking fair. The person in the wheelchair and me need different things.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of the situation. Neither of us are to blame for the situation we find ourselves in, and neither of us should be punished or indeed advantaged on that basis. But each person has their own particular set of needs, and therefore the government's response to them should be different. It isn't fucking fair. So the idea that you can build a quote-unquote fair system is ridiculous. Some people... Mick Jagger does not need the same help from the British state that a fucking paraplegic kid does.
Well,
it's not fair. The system needs to be there for the people that need it most. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry that you, as an able-bodied fucking person, can't put up with the fact that some people get things that you don't get. Like, what you want a fucking mobility-equipped car? Why? You don't have a fucking wheelchair, you cunt.
No, literally, remember when there was all those debates in the 2010s about equality versus equity? The idea that a disabled person needs things a non-disabled person doesn't need is literally that's literally how fucking equity works.
Yeah.
And they tried to convince us that somehow that equity was about, advantaging the disabled or shit like that. No, it's just getting everyone to the same fucking base level. You know?
Well, I don't even care about game. Well, I do care about that, but like
equality of opportunity, basically.
Yeah, I don't. You're not going to get. Again, it's not fair. So you're not going to get everyone to the same fucking level. But the point is to allow people to have a reasonable existence. Is that literally too much to ask? To allow that there is a baseline below which we will not allow one of our citizens to fall.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Like there should be a floor below which no person can be allowed to sink.
Literally, Nirian in chat, like, yeah, we tried to do actual equity, but the best we can do is private equity.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Fucking hell. Have the disabled thought about getting on a bike and looking for work? I fucking hate... Again, it's a country of spiteful, nasty, self-absorbed, selfish pricks.
True.
Mental health, and Tom does brilliant work on Sunday with his walks for men, and particularly young men, I think, coming with problems. And there's lots of great community groups and charities that do work in that space. In my view, one of the best things for young people is getting them into work, giving a structure, giving a sense of purpose, and of course earning a wage and a weekly wage packet that they can spend. There is a massive problem in this country with youth unemployment. It has been growing exponentially since the pandemic.
No, to be fair, I will give him that. Like when someone in my chat said he goes for a walk, like he's giving of his time to try and help other men with mental health. There are many things you can and should criticise Mr. Skinner for because he's a prick, but that I'll give him that. That's fine. That seems like a perfectly reasonable thing to want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we should fight him as a national hero or anything. Like you say, he goes for a walk, but, like, let's not underplay it either, you know.
And if I may, the last government didn't do anything about it. Now, we are taking action now. We've just introduced this week a grant for local businesses, small businesses, that if they take on young people who've been out of work for a certain period, they will get a financial package to support them and going above and beyond supporting them because they are helping the young person, helping their community.
Crazy. Another social issue, and the only solution that the government can come up with is private sector subsidy.
Yay!
Hopefully helping their business too. We're also offering the young person's guarantee. So if you've been out of work for an 18-month period as a young...
They will give money to private company.
And force you. We will force you to do work for the private company we've given subsidy to.
Yeah, thanks. Really. Honestly, Quadrilla Capital and their ilk have made the wisest investment ever by buying the Labour Party. They're getting everything they could possibly want.
Young person, then you will receive a guarantee of a job offer or a training opportunity. Now, I know that those are just schemes, and there are government schemes. It's easy for me to say that, but my view is that we have to get young people back into work. It's good for them. We believe in the value of work, and it's good for society, and it's good for our economy too.
Why don't you do more apprenticeship as well, like, because...
It's funny you say that, Tom, because we are. We really believe in apprenticeships and vocational training. We've heard from someone who's graduating shortly. We're investing in more vocational opportunities. Not that you don't have to go to a university and get a degree to get on in life. That shouldn't be the way. And we are changing that fundamentally.
Right. Let me move on because we've got a number of questions to get through and I want to try and do that. The first one, I'm just going to tell you that we are going to be off air.
That's the end of that discussion, is it?
Yeah, that's all we're getting on Will Life Be Better. To be fair, I guess it's such an open question that if they did leave it any longer, we could fucking talk about every single policy, because all of the policies seem to be about the decline and things getting worse. I mean, potentially things are just going to get worse. I mean, there was a period with which that we kind of lived in a world of which kind of was almost make-believe. Because there were the fumes of the financial sector and infinite cheap gas prices and no concerns about sustainability.
True, but you know what? There's one thing they haven't talked about because you're not allowed to talk about it, ever. I wonder if they'll talk about it, though.
For a couple of weeks because of Easter. And then we're back on April the 16th in Cardiff. And that's for the first of our special election programmes because clearly there's quite a lot of political activity going on in May. I don't know if you've noticed. And then the week after that, we're in Aberdeen. So if you live in or around Cardiff or Aberdeen...
Wow, they're pretending to care about the regions again. Cool. We're gonna go once to Wales and once to Scotland, and then you can shut the fuck up forever.
Yeah, there's local elections, so we are now mandated to care about the nations of the UK.
Yeah. It's so silly. Jesus Christ.
You'd like to come and be part of the audience, go to the Question Time website. All the instructions are there, and hopefully we will see you, Cardiff or Aberdeen, starting on the 16th of April. Right, Sue McLaughlin, where are you sitting? Let's hear what you've got to ask.
Yesterday, Meta and YouTube were found liable for social media addiction. Will the government take action to protect children and young adults?
No!
I mean, 'cause that would involve a lot of actual work.
Yeah, they'd have to actually impose restrictions on a private company, which is communism.
I mean, probably what they will do is stop end up getting some like social media ban for under 16s, which they will A, get around with VPNs, and B, won't tackle the problem, which is boomers.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Right, so this was potentially a hugely significant court case.
Yeah. On the subject of boomers and social media, I saw a post from fucking John Cleese.
Oh,
of all
no.
people.
That's already a bad start. Go on.
Yeah, it's already started badly. It was him tweeting about how, like, if you don't defend your country, then it's going to get lost. And about cultures being eroded. And talk about some kids being taught about Muslim prayer.
Can I just ask him, when he says, if you don't fight for your country, would that be the country he was born in, or the country he currently lives in, which is Barbados?
Incredible scenes. The thing is that the picture that he shared of children doing Islamic prayer was pictures of children doing yoga from 12 years ago, posted by an AI slop account.
But they might be Muslims now.
True, we can never know.
Yeah, so that's yoga, gateway drug to becoming a member of ISIS. Fact.
Facts.
Yeah.
And there's no evidence for it, but it is true.
Exactly. Did you know people who do yoga have more genes in common with crabs than with human beings? Yeah, Cleese is such a massive disappointment because he's like,
he's just senile. He's just senile. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just senility.
Well, and not just that, but he's a rich old prick who's completely disconnected from what modern Britain is.
Yeah.
You know. So
like,
he was a lefty back in like the 60s and 70s, and hasn't changed since, basically.
The irony, of course, is that he is in an ethnic enclave, the ethnic enclave of Barbados.
Yeah, I imagine he doesn't live in like the rough black area of Barbados, or black areas of Barbados. Yeah, he lives amongst what I like to call future England cricketer Barbados.
In the States yesterday. And for those of you not fully aware of the details, a 20-year-old woman was awarded $6 million in damages. She successfully sued Meta, which has Facebook and other things, and YouTube, over her childhood addiction to social media. And the jurors found that Meta, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Google, who own YouTube, intentionally built addictive social media platforms that harmed the 20...
I wouldn't wear a Versace top ever, but I especially would not wear one if I was going to be on TV.
No, likewise.
You look like a cunt.
8-year-old's mental health. Tom Skinner, do you want to kick us off on that?
Yeah, look, I mean,
Should the government take action?
Well, I make money out of social media. I do. I get paid to do adverts. I've got quite a big following on there. So I do like social media, but at the same time, I know how addicted. Like who else has sat in bed before? You've got to be up early and thought, and you start scrolling. You've had 20 minutes on your phone looking at nonsense. We've all done it. I've done.
I do it all the time. I'll be honest. I waste a lot of my time just like doom scrolling. Yeah.
Same.
Yep. It's not
good.
good.
You know what I mean? And I think maybe not ban it, but I think something should be done with young kids, because what I don't like about social media is it's always about dividing people. It's always about people screaming and shouting. If you don't agree with me, if you don't agree with what I stand for, or if you don't agree with my politics, I hate you. This, that, the other. You're a gammon, or you're a snowflake. Why are we not? I try and spread a bit of positivity and a bit of love. Do you know what I mean? I was still
bosh. No, I try and bring people together, like Nigel Farage.
He tries to bring people together, like when he said that Zach Polanski was a bellend on Twitter.
That's unity.
That's unity, and trying to, make the world
peace
a better
and
place.
love, good vibes, yeah.
get a bit of agony.
But do you think government's got a role though, Tom?
No, but what I'm saying is I think we should try and change what's being put on social media.
To get the companies to change it.
Yeah, I think it should be better things should be on social media, not all this nonsense.
I think better things should be on social media. Honestly,
I'm very glad this person.
Yeah,
on question time.
what a fantastic contribution they've made to the discussion. I'm really glad that you didn't have like a serious, actual human being here instead.
Private education, well spent, chat.
Yeah. Bosh.
All this hate. Let's show a bit more love, a bit more positivity, and then maybe look, young kids. I don't give my kids. I don't give them iPads. I don't think they should have it just yet. But I don't think so. Maybe phones should be banned in school. I think that should definitely be a thing.
And what about the?
No, we know
They're already banned in school.
They literally are. Again, but that's conservative boilerplate. Just say a thing that already exists and pretend like that will solve a problem that they caused.
Literally.
Brilliant. Yeah, we know, chat. You don't have to keep repeating he's not working class. We know.
Idea of a ban on social media for under 16s, as in Australia, and the government's looking at possible.
I think it's something to look at. I do think it's something to look at. Like, as well with social media, young kids go on there. They see people posting pictures on rooftop bars in Dubai and pictures of Ferraris. It ain't real life. And these kids look at it and think they ain't good enough because I need to have the best trainers. I've seen them on TikTok. I need to have an influencer because I've seen it.
Right, but like you've already said you do adverts on social media. What do you think those other people are doing?
Well, again, I mean, he isn't wrong though. It's what Gary Stevenson was saying to Daniel Priestley, and like trying to convince people that the way you're successful is if you have all of the important things in life, like all of the riches in the world, and you move to Dubai or whatever. And if you didn't do that, then you failed. Like you're a failure if you don't achieve that. That is really toxic. But again, he, as you say, he contributes to this.
Yeah.
Also, like Nantang says that it's guidance to schools about phones, not law. Yeah, most schools just do it anyway.
Yeah.
On Instagram, but. That's not real life. Real life is kind of work and having friends and working hard and doing, you know what I mean?
Essex. I genuinely look. The vibes are so rancid. I hate it. And again, if you're from Essex, I'm not hating on you, but you know, if you're from Essex, you know, you live there. You have to live amongst these creatures.
Sue's question will...
Like, he came very close to doing Arbit Mac Fry for a second there. Just saying.
I mean, they all do it, don't they?
Yeah.
Should the government take action to protect children and young adults? And there's the other thing that this case raises, which is if it becomes... I mean, social media is built on the idea of it being addictive in order to get people to keep looking at it, and that's how they make... the social media companies make money. There are other cases in the pipeline similar to this. Could we be in a position where social media companies will have to change the structure of social media? And
oh, here comes Mix Vivian Wolf with her fucking Essex-related propaganda. I grew up in Essex and it's not all like that. Yes, it fucking is. It's all like that. Shut up. But everyone go and follow Mix Vivian Wolf immediately.
Would that be a good thing?
Yeah. When I saw this case, I felt, hallelujah, finally someone's holding them to account. This isn't new news. We knew this. Everyone knows this idiot. I'm just like you. And actually, every so often, I will find myself scrolling through on purpose just so I can find a cat video just to sort of calm myself down or whatever. But there...
Oh, God, I'm like Layla Moran.
You are like... yeah, exactly. You're pro-Palestine and you love cats.
I'm pro-Palestine and I need to see cat videos to calm me down during heated moments, yeah.
During the end times.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, come the revolution, I think I should be executed for that.
I mean, you never voted Lib Dem though.
No, I did. Well, we're both fucked. Yeah. I never voted for them, so you get killed first, obviously.
Yeah.
But that means I have to watch you get killed. So emotionally, that's worse for me. Oh no.
It's all gone to Pete. It's all Pete tongue.
Yeah. Bosh.
There is a difference between that and, you know, what we were hearing about, 16 hours doom scrolling as a child, and what we hear and what we knew this.
Honestly, like, I know this is going to sound like some old head bullshit, but like, it's so true. I'm genuinely so glad I grew up before social media.
Me too.
Like, I genuinely, I can't express how relieved I am, because I know I would have said and done some reprehensible shit, and it would be out there. It would have fucked with my head anyway, just the doom scrolling alone, right? Because everyone, when you're an emotional fucking bag of like hormones, like, it's not a good idea. Being a kid is horrible. And then, like, you're going to be like tweeting out some racist shit because you're a 12-year-old who wants to say an edgy thing, and then it gets brought up at a job interview 20 years later. Oh, did you say this thing about Asians or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, it's because you're a fucking kid and you say dumb shit. Whereas, thankfully, my history of racial microaggressions is not online. Yay! Fucking hell, grim shit. Kev Seeker as look, everyone says and does some dumb shit when they're young. It's not that I was necessarily more or less racist than anyone, but I'm from Britain, so obviously I'm quite racist.
I mean, yeah, like, everyone kind of gets ensconced into race. White kids get ensconced into racism from a young age. 'Cause it's just, especially in the 2000s, it was just fucking everywhere.
It really was, yeah.
In the 90s as well, 90s and 2000s, like, sexism was everywhere as well. I mean, even more so, to be fair.
Yeah, lad culture was very much a thing. Yeah, fucking Little Britain blacking up. That was just totally normal, absolutely fine, not a problem. Fucking David Baddiel blacking up. He doesn't like to mention that, though, when he goes on his little everyone's racist but me rants, you know?
Just the quiet bit said out loud is that they purposefully designed it this way, and then they put the onus on parents who aren't as digitally native as the young people using this to be able to police. Yes, there is absolutely parental responsibility here. We have a new baby. We've already discussed they aren't getting the iPads. But I think, and the Liberal Democrat approach to this is not a ban, by the way. It is a harms-based approach, a bit like...
Oh, you're so Liberal Democrat! Fucking useless. No, we're not going to ban the thing that we say is really dangerous. We're just going to do some mealy-mouthed mincing around at the edges. So if you accept that this is a massive problem, fucking do something. Jesus Christ, the Lib Dems are so fucking pointless. It's liberals fucking wind me up. I swear to God.
You know when you go to the cinema and it says 12, 15, 18...
Oh, green hair, pronouns in bio.
At least the pronouns have made their way to Essex.
Well, that's the thing, that woke get everywhere.
With the octopus.
They're
from,
like
the Nazi propaganda posters.
They're
right?
like
tentacles into the country.
It's woke mushroom spores. They carry on the wind. They go everywhere. They take root and then they grow and they corrupt.
Like a triffid.
Put the social media cat.
So what's the idea
bag.
with that, Layla? Because obviously at the moment you're not supposed to be able to access Facebook and others under the age of 13.
Yeah.
We all know that kids do. So by putting these age restrictions, isn't that what we've got already and it's not working? How is your policy going to work?
So, for example, we think it's not just about the content. This is the key bit. It's about the algorithm. The age rating will depend on how addictive the algorithms are and what that will do.
Yeah, but the point I'm making...
So you're not going to ban the addictive algorithm. You're just going to say it's okay for adults to be engaged in a thing that you know is detrimental to adults as well. Why not just force these companies to not have addictive algorithms?
I mean, that is the crux of this argument. It really is the crux. It's that we're all admitting it's bad. We're admitting it's bad for everybody. We're admitting it's being done solely in sake of profit rather than for the good of the people using the platform.
Yeah.
So why don't we just get rid of it for everybody and save ourselves the time and the issue of people having their brains poisoned by slop?
Yeah. Like, literally, it's such a Liberal Democrat thing. Like, we realise that this is addictive and terrible, which is why we're not going to stop it. Brilliant. Thanks.
There's an age rating at the moment, which is 13 and under, and everyone ignores it.
But I'm explaining, the age rating doesn't have to do with the algorithm. This is the key bit, because the addictive bit, the thing this court case was about was how addictive the doom scrolling is, how addictive the social media is.
The algorithm is the program. That is literally what it is.
It's not the content. The age ratings that we've got currently are about
the age ratings
content.
are connected to the program, to Instagram, and Instagram is the algorithm. It's nothing to do with the content at the moment. The age rating is connected to the program, Instagram, and the Instagram is basically an algorithm with a screen.
And what we want is
no,
that
hang a minute. And that's not how that works, Tom.
No.
First of all, it's called a website. It's called an application. It's not a program. Like, it's not, you don't load up Instagram.exe.
No.
Right?
No.
Either way, right? You can create social media platforms that are non-algorithmic. In fact, I have Threads open right now, and you can filter by just the people you are following and in chronological order. That is not algorithmic in the way that it presents information to you. It is the change from the early dynamics of Facebook and stuff like that, where it was all deliberately chronological, to algorithmic showing of content, right? Like YouTube, it used to be a subscriptions feed where you found videos based upon what you already subscribed to, rather than you go to your homepage and it gives you videos it thinks you like algorithmically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now, this isn't necessarily race-based, but it is a funny thing nonetheless. And so I'm going to use it against Tom Tugendhat. When I heard a black American, describe being patronised by a white guy as being clansplained. And again, it's not necessarily a race-based problem here, but, you know, Tom Tugendhat, just saying.
Apply a common sense approach to this. You are not going to ban it for everybody.
He's Austrian.
But instead, what we want is that if you are, you know, we are finding ways to age verify.
Well, there are no racist Austrians in history, so it's fine.
No, exactly.
No, it's a lovely country. Never did anything wrong. Just classical music and chocolate. Nothing else.
I mean, to be fair, they did give you chatters, so.
Well, exactly, but I mean, there's always some wrong uns. And honestly, Fogel in chat, you might be the worst Austrian of all time.
Verify online. That is important. There is a consultation out at the moment. Many young people say they do want access. But if these social media companies are forced into a position where they have to make it less addictive, then that's better for everybody, for adults and children. Because I don't think it's just addictive for children, it's addictive for adults too.
Okay, well, let's
and
hear
a bit
from some
like
of the adults in
gambling,
the
we
room.
need to take a harms-based approach.
Man in the front in the black top.
So I think with social media, ultimately there is an...
I'm not saying anything.
Use a propeller hat.
I'm not saying anything. But if anyone says this looks like you, Kev, I'm actually going to kill you. In Minecraft.
An addiction issue. It comes down to personal choice as well. I took myself off of social media by choice about 7-8
Nah, he's a lot prettier. Thanks.
8 years ago, and I've gained so much more free time to be more productive. But I do think the real issue is around short form content that's so in your face and designed to catch your attention. It's so easy, as Tom said, to just sit there and just scroll and scroll. With other addictions like gambling, we see in betting apps you can set limits, so maybe there needs to be an option to set a limit on short form content like YouTube Shorts or Reels or whatever they're called now.
Okay, all right, man at the back in the grey top and the glasses. Yeah.
I think that the parents are social media savvy. And I you know, drive down the street and there are women pushing their babies along in a buggy and they're looking at their phones. So I think that the parents are totally familiar.
Oh, sorry, you said I'm a lot prettier. Oh, okay. Okay, Charles.
That clears it up then.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I feel way better now.
Deal with it, and I think they take or should take a share of the responsibility as well.
Right, okay. A woman here in the blue top, yeah.
Hi. Australia, they tried to ban social media and children were finding a way of getting around, pulling faces, making themselves look older, wrinkling up their faces.
You're so boomer. Look, she almost gets it. There are ways around it. But you don't have to screw your face up. Just to use a VPN. Piece of piss. 10% off with code KevKev's Massive Bollocks. You know? Like...
And still be able to access social media.
Well, Australia obviously has not been doing it that long. I mean, I had a look at this. Since the ban, something like 4.7 million accounts for those under 16 have been taken offline. So it would appear that it's...
the most wonderful snark in my chat there. Isn't there a war going on? Not according to this TV show, no.
I mean, they've talked about... I mean, what more can you talk about the Iran war with fucking Tom Skinner?
I reckon we should invade Tehran, bosh. Yeah, okay.
And invade Iraq
It's working.
again, because it sounds a bit similar.
Exactly. And I'm a bit dyslexic, ain't I? So a Q and an N's the same to me. Invade both of the cunts. Bosh!
For quite a number, for sure there'll be kids getting around it as well. Tom, you clearly did not agree with what Layla was suggesting in terms of making
just
this
purely factually, it's all that Instagram is an algorithm with a screen, right? I mean, that's all it is. A computer program is just...
The fuck are you talking about, Tom Tugendbollock? Shut up! You're an old, irrelevant freak. You're a mutant.
He's not even that old, I don't think, either. Which is why it's so funny, because he's just so posh.
No,
he's just completely, like...
That hairline screams old to me.
He's 52, so he's
a bit
Gen
old.
X.
Yeah, he's a bit old.
All Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whatever they are, they're just an algorithm with a visual display. That's all they are. And the age restriction, such as it exists, as you correctly said, applies to the algorithm. So it's just a factual point. It doesn't apply to the content. It applies to the algorithm. It's interesting, isn't it? Because
the content gets created based upon what's good for the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, so he's so out of his depth trying to explain to people shit he doesn't understand.
Well, that's unfortunately one of the actual real problems with having a sort of gerontocracy. I mean, it's worse in America, but certainly we have lots of old pricks here as well. Literally having the upper chamber of Parliament be a waiting room full of corpses.
Literally.
Like, just awful. Is that you're asking people who were raised with rotary phones to understand and be able to legislate AI. It's not going to happen. People who grew up taping things on the radio are now having to do, try and understand international monetary transfers and AI and cryptocurrencies, and they couldn't be more out of their depth.
Literally, I mean, again, it's funny because you see all the Labour politicians talk about how AI is going to revolutionise everything, and I'm like, you do not know what the fuck you're talking about. You're entirely speaking through fucking lobbying documents that you've been sent. You're repeating verbatim.
Yep. I still have a rotary. Well, if you choose to have a rotary phone, that's fine. But I'm saying people were raised with that as cutting-edge technology are now being asked to refine the legislation about AI and cryptocurrencies, and they don't literally what sums it up perfectly is that clip from America. The internet is a series of tubes. What do you say to these people? These people write the law. The lobbyists have such an easy time because you've just got to sound convincing and baffle them with the biggest pile of bullshit ever, and they'll sign whatever you want.
Literally.
Fucking useless, doddering old pricks signing away our future to fucking the Tony Blair Institute and Palantir.
Woo!
I don't know whether you're involved in education, Sue, but I've spoken to a lot of schools in the area I'm lucky enough to represent, and every single one of the schools, pretty much, has said the same thing, which is, unless they have support, either from the government or from the parents, and it's very hard to get unified support from the parents, it's really difficult to make the change that allows kids to have the opportunity to study and to learn properly in schools. So it's not just about being distracted at home, it's also being distracted in class. And this is where I think, we do have a responsibility. I think what Kemi set out about under 16s is important.
So that's banning social media for under 16s.
Yeah, it is. And, do I like banning things? No, I don't. But you know what? We ban children from drinking alcohol. We ban children from smoking drugs. We ban...
Which is communism. The more the government does stuff, it's communism.
Oh, I thought you said we wanted fewer regulations to trust people more, Tom. Was that what you said at the top of the programme?
Exactly. Cut the red tape. Let industry and the job creation of heroin dealers, let the entrepreneurs in the crack cocaine industry do their thing.
And then maybe people can take some personal responsibility in the public when they're interacting with the cocaine market. Why are you trying to shut down small business?
Exactly. Let's get the red tape out of the way. Get the boot of Westminster off the neck of the lovely job creation, wealth creation drug dealers and let them deal to 6-year-olds. It's the only potential for growth in our fucking economy.
Children from things that it's reasonable to say, look, I'm an adult, you're a child, we're going to make some different decisions here. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think to the point that, forgive me, sir, the gentleman in the grey jumper made, you're also
just as a kind of point to Tom Tugendhat, you know what also helps with fostering an environment of learning and all of that is not having the school fall down because of wreck.
That does help.
If you have actual buildings that are safe for the children to exist in, would also be cool. But you would have to fund that, which would be communism. So
yes, true. With the government doing a thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. You know, I'm a parent. My boy's 12, my little girl's 9.
My condolences to those two children growing up knowing they came from the testicles of this creature.
Literally.
Or the testicles of his wife's partner. We don't know.
My boy's more into Vikings, to be honest, but my little girl is certainly into trying to get onto various different things of social media, not because she gets it.
So he's not interested in your family's history then? He's interested in more kind of Northern European history. It's interesting. Okay.
At home, but because she sees it amongst friends. And just being aware that it is one of my responsibilities to say no is important, because it's not just up to the state, it's just not just up to the government. It's not, Jake's not my kid's parents, I am.
But in fairness, Tom, you're at the slightly easier point, where it's when, listen, as a parent of older kids... and
Also, no one is suggesting that the government should be the parent of your children. It's that the parents, good parents are worth their weight in gold, of course, but you can't just rely on every parent being perfect or having the opportunity to actually properly look after their kids in an environment where literally food banks exist and things like that, right?
Exactly.
And the government has a safeguarding role, both local and national, in making sure that children have the same opportunities, hopefully.
On top of this, just like, this is like the state is the bulwark against the fucking gargantuan monster of international capital. Like, thinking little Miss Jenkins down the road is far less likely to be able to rein in the excesses of the social media machine than the state would otherwise be.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
isn't the nanny state to say, well, maybe what these companies are doing is bad. It's like saying this is the nanny state to prevent fucking giant companies from polluting our rivers with shit. Oh, wait, they already do that.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, exactly. Each individual parent should take on Facebook. Because that's how you beat the robot. The Zuck. Yeah, brilliant.
I'm sure there are people here too. It's when they get to the point where you can't just say, I'm not going to let you have that phone. They're 16, they're 15, they're 16, and they're in their bedroom. You don't know how long they're
No, but
spending.
you're absolutely right. That's why I'm saying you've got to do both, right? So there is a personal responsibility as a parent, I agree. There is also a state responsibility in help.
Exactly. So the state needs to get out of the way, and you need to make sure that your kid is only taking the purest heroin. Yeah. No, true. That is correct, yeah.
And that's the ban on under 16s. Otherwise, I end up watching Tom's Bish Bash Bosh at 3 in the morning. It's not healthy for me. It's
He
probably not
definitely
healthy
does.
for you either.
He definitely does that. I believe him.
Yeah, that is a thing that you've definitely seen him do. Yeah. Also, he's like, oh, that's fantastic advertising. Prick.
So, the government's launched a consultation. The government's launched quite a few consultations since it came into power. Here's another one. Why don't you just...
Delightfully a silly little roast. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, you've done a lot of fucking consulting, haven't you? would have been good if you'd had any plan to begin with. Just
get on and do it.
Well, look, answering Sue's questions.
I promise you, there's no pre-watch. I didn't know she was going to say that. That's amazing.
Directly, yes, we have to take action. Absolutely. The evidence is now overwhelming about the harm that social media can cause young people. I'm a father of a 2-year-old, and I'm really worried about what childhood is.
Are they doom scrolling? Because that's advanced.
Nowadays, in a social media age.
All I'll say is my 2-year-old nephew, when I was looking after him a couple of weeks ago, he saw the standby button on my TV, which was off, and he tried to blow it out.
Incredible scene. So it shows how Victorian...
I laughed my bollocks off. who's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Daftest little cunt in the world. Love him.
Sure, it turns out the Irish haven't moved away from like candlelight.
Literally. Also, microaggression. A little bit racist, you English bitch.
I've been ensconced from colonialism for a very early age, and I've just inherently view ourselves as superior to the Irish.
Yeah, which is interesting given all the war crimes. Just saying. My friend, I saw a fantastic Irish comedian telling this joke in America, and it's beautifully subtle. He said, we don't have a lot of white guilt in Ireland because we had this revolutionary idea of we had potatoes and we picked them ourselves.
Or as the joke was like, what's invisible and kills the Irish? And no potatoes.
Well, I was about to say the British aren't invisible.
That's true, it's true.
Yeah.
They're unfortunately incredibly visible. I know everyone's disappointed to learn that this is the case, but you can actually see British people. It's really good.
It's when they dress in the bright red coats. Like it's like you're trying to be seen, lads.
The discussion that we've just had shows it's not straightforward. It's not easy just to ban it overnight. There are really complicating factors around that. And there are some benefits to social media as well. You know, I've spoken to school children in my constituency who use it to share what they're doing with homework with each other, and they have given
You mean cheating? You're supposed to do that independently. That's not a good thing, actually.
Laptops at school to learn and be creative that way as well. It's about getting that balance right. I think what we saw from Kemi Badenoch was, let's just ban it. It's really easy, let's do it. That's not right. We do need to consult. It's a quick consultation, 6 weeks. I really urge people to get involved in it. Let us know your thoughts as parents, as grandparents, as carers, as educationalists, as people in their community who care about this. And I would agree with the gentleman at the front. My main concern, or one of my main concerns, is about the addictive nature of some of the social media apps we have. And as the gentleman in the grey jumper, as he's now known, I'm afraid, says, you know, I see so many young children who are scrolling phones and not enjoying childhood, not enjoying being young and playing on the street as we all did. And so that needs to change. And just finally, apart from the addictive nature, we also know there is some really serious criminal activity happening online. And this government introduced the Online Harm Act, which really tried to clamp down on social media companies that allowed that to happen. Now, Nigel Farage, many of your MP, he voted against that. He opposed that. He's very friendly with a lot of the big tech companies. And I would urge people...
Unlike your Prime Minister that had a secret meeting with Palantir and then gave them a contract?
Or a secret meeting with Palantir that was potentially organised by Global Counsel, the consultancy firm run by Peter Mandelson, the yum-yum friend of Jeffrey Epstein.
But, you know, he's not friendly with those people at all.
People to put 2 and 2 together and you'll get 4.
Tom, it's a bit confusing because there's 2 Toms on the panel, but Tom over here. As you said, you're benefiting from social media. You know, you make part of your living that way. And part of the reason you're able to make your living that way is because of the addictive algorithms that push people, if they like some content that might be similar to yours, it'll push them towards yours. So surely you must think that is a good...
God only knows what content the people that found me must have been looking at for the algorithm to feed my shit to them.
Well, I can consistently tell my audience, like, don't allow YouTube to tell you what you should watch. Use your subscriptions feed.
Yeah.
Search function the subscriptions feed to find things you like watching and then watch them, rather than allow YouTube to dictate where your view should go.
Literally.
Good thing, because otherwise you're going to be out of pocket.
No, I mean, look. My main income is from my businesses. It ain't from so. But
sure,
I
but the fact is,
I do get paid money to. Like today, I went to Finsbury Park to promote a tool brand.
And also, it's given you a platform. You know, job opportunities come your way because of it. So, presumably, you're in a way, in the nicest possible way, you're part of the problem.
No, listen. But I mean, if I don't know if anyone's seen my videos, but my videos are mainly are me in a cafe called Dino's Cafe in New Spiteful Market at between 4 and 5 a.m. saying, good morning, you lovely people, show them what I got for breakfast and sandwich.
Whatever they are, the point is the way these algorithms are designed is to push people towards your content. Yeah. So how can you on the one hand say people shouldn't be doing it so much, but on the other hand...
When he said he was representing tools, was he with Nigel Farage?
No, it was with Keir Starmer's dad.
Well, no, surely he's just the one who makes the tools.
Oh, it's just Keir Starmer then?
Yeah, just Keir Starmer, yeah.
You're
Because
benefiting from it.
what I said was obviously like there's a time and a place. I think I do agree with what Tom said about if you've got kids that are doing it too much, you as a parent you've got to be on them and say, listen, kids, you can have it an hour in the evening or whatever you want to do. Like it's bad. It is bad when people.
Oh, for fuck's! You are privately educated. You can put sentences together. Surely, like, how much did his parents waste on that education?
Honestly.
This man is fucking borderline unlistenable to.
He really, I mean, he is unlistenable. He is just unlistenable.
Like, he's offered nothing of value or worth to the conversation in any way.
I mean.
Even about this, which is a thing that he should know something about because he's a social media star, right? He's an influencer. And yet his contribution is, this is bad. Thanks. Really? What? You definitely deserve that seat on the fucking panel today.
Literally, they could have got an actual politician on, couldn't they?
Yeah, from any of the other parties. There are loads of the like, and ironically, this is the one week where a Reform person would have been probably appropriate, given that they have a Reform MP. It would have been the one week where fucking Nigel Farage would have been appropriate. Of course, he would have had to have found his way to Clacton in order to attend, but you know, it would have been good.
On their phone all day. I've seen it myself. Like, I've done it myself. I lay in bed, I know I've got to be up in 4 hours, and I've sat there and scrolled my brains through and just watching absolute nonsense.
But also, you're...
Yeah, like your videos. Like, he said that, like, yeah, his videos are inoffensive in that it's just like, oh, this is what I'm having for a breakfast, bosh. But, like, it's also brain rot. It's nothing. It's a waste of everyone's fucking time. Like, you know, like, you can't regulate people wasting their time. You're entitled to waste your time. But when the social media companies are making money addicting people to wasting their time, maybe we should do something about that.
Kinds of videos are not the ones that are driving the worst of the algorithms. The ones that are the ones that are promoting hate, that are purposefully pitting people against each other. People are posting things that are not true and that are purposefully there to incite other people. So there's a pile-on, and then that encourages it. And what we've got to do now is recognise that this is harming society. It's making people not believe each other. You know, fewer and fewer people now believe what they see anywhere. You know, BBC included, and we've got to now get to a point where these companies are both held to account, so thank goodness for these cases, but I do want to see this government act. They have rejected various amendments at the Lords, which is where it is currently, because what they're saying is that, oh, just leave it to us, we'll do it. No, we want guarantees in the legislation that they will act. The current government is rejecting those amendments. I would urge them to accept them. We all want action. I don't think there's anyone who would disagree with that right now.
Very briefly, because I want to take another question.
How many people here use TikTok?
Careful.
Not that many. So I'll tell you something. About a third of young people get their news from TikTok. Not from the BBC, not from ITV, not from the radio or whatever. They get their news from TikTok. Now, I don't know if you know, but TikTok is edited effectively by an algorithm, right? Like,
yeah, because it's an algorithm with a screen. Yeah, you told us.
That's all it is. And to be fair, TikTok is the one thing where it's very difficult not to engage algorithmically, where it's always been designed from the start as an algorithmic application, unlike Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, but this algorithm is based in Shenzhen. It's controlled by the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh, it's sure communoid TikTok. Even then now, it's owned by fucking Larry Ellison, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, it's okay when it's Palantir or a fucking Israeli company that are getting all of our information and deciding what news to have. But when it's those dangerous Chinese...
China!
Like, it's Jesus Christ. You are absolute vermin. You really are, Tom.
And in China, TikTok's equivalent, the same company but under a slightly different brand, kids can only access it for about an hour a day. Here, 24/7, no problem at all.
Now, so you're saying we should be more like the Chinese Communist government? Is that your argument there, Thomas?
Pretty much, yeah. Oh,
do you agree about the building the massive amount of railways and stuff as well?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Maglevs, we need them.
Yeah, because I mean, their economy's been booming for fucking decades, mate. So maybe we should do some of that. What do you reckon?
Now, how would you feel, just a question, how would you feel if one of our biggest national newspapers was edited by the Chinese Communist Party. Would you be happy with it?
I mean,
no, I just want them owned by 4 right-wing pricks based in Monaco.
Yeah, it's as if like somehow like the worst possible thing is if it's being done by, you know, another political party rather than what are an entirety of political party basically of their own, which is the oligarch class.
Yeah, the Epstein class doing it is fine. It's if it's those, you know, Easterners. They're a bit Oriental, you know. Can't be true. They're inscrutable, aren't they?
No. Well, the principal news source, or one of the principal news sources for young people in the UK, is edited by the Chinese Communist Party.
Based. Yeah, let's fuck it. Let's go. Yeah.
But it is like literally this idea that somehow the Chinese Communist Party is specifically tweaking the algorithm on TikTok to somehow control the thoughts of young people. Insane fucking Red Scare shit. Like, they're just trying to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, they're just capitalist as well, right?
I mean,
like, you can call them communist, but it's not.
Lots of these companies have like regional like operations as well. Remember the Senator I'm Singaporean moment?
Yes. Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Again, the idea that somehow this is again that it's all centrally controlled, even though it's a part owned by CCP in combination with ByteDance, which is in China, but then also has a subsidiary in Europe. That
apparently, Tugendhat has been wined and dined by right-wing Taiwanese nationalists.
Oh, he's a KMT man.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That's a concern.
That's bad.
Let's take another question from Peter Gould. Oh, that's what you're called. You're Peter Gould.
Hello, Peter.
Okay.
I thought I was number 4. Do you support Keir Starmer's position on Iran? And in the wider context, are our armed forces and their military materials fit for purpose now for modern conflict?
And have you got...
Yeah, we've got 17 ships, so it's fine.
Or do we? Or do we have 17? Who knows?
Who knows? Certainly not the defence minister.
I mean, you concerned with this question? I feel like we're just going to get the same answers that we've gotten on loads of this stuff already.
Yeah, probably not. Is there another one? Armed forces. Have we lost the ability to have a civilised debate? I'm not sure I give a fuck about that either.
No, me neither.
Really? No offence to the great people of Essex, but I don't care. I just don't fucking care. No. Okay. Well, rather abruptly, that's the end of the stream. For me, anyway. Are you carrying on? I don't know.
No, I'm going to finish up here because we've been going since 3. So we've a good 3-hour stream, I think.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, you got your fucking money's worth, dickheads. Yes, okay. Well, everyone, go in peace to love and serve your Lord Jesus Christ.
As you fucking should.
Inshallah.
As you fucking should.
Bosh.
I'm going to send people into the majority report because I like clout.
Fair enough. I think I may join you in that endeavour. We won't get a shout out, but well, you might because you're famous now. So, you know.
That's true. Oh, it's cat. Oh, the Hassan is on the stream, so we're getting even more clout.
Ooh. Well, I noticed you're not raiding into your employer.
Well, no, because they're not live on Twitch anymore, are they? They only do YouTube.
Oh, do they only do YouTube now? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Why have they given up on that?
I don't know, because they didn't really get any watching on Twitch.
Well, I don't, and I haven't stopped.
Anyway, Free Palestine. Everyone go follow Kevin Logan, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Well, if I can fucking... can I not find the majority report?
It's just the majority report.
Yeah, there we go, the majority report. Yes, everyone go and follow No Justice MTG immediately.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And I will see you all probably tomorrow or something. I don't know.
Yeah, tomorrow sounds good.
Free Palestine, free Cuba, free your mind. Bye.
Free Kurdistan. Bye-bye.
True.